Are live. So, welcome everyone to the first ever stream on this new platform on Twitch and YouTube. My name is René Pierre Dehay, and I will be your host today and your game moderator. But enough of me, because I'm only there to be with this fantastic crew, which I'm just so happy to be with. But before I introduce them, just a couple of things. So, today we will be playing a game. We'll be playing a tabletop role-playing game called Hopes and Dreams. So in this game, our players will be playing as dreamers who will be trying to set things right in a city that's basically always fighting them, but they will do anything that's in their power to make life a better place. So yeah, like the stakes are high.
I feel the responsibility already. You guys ready for this? Like, y'all with me on this? Anything.
So before we talk a little bit more about the game, I'll introduce yourself. So the way we're gonna do it is gonna just select someone, and that person just introduce yourself, promote the fantastic stuff you're creating, because you're just a bunch of fantastic and talented people. So drop your promos and then select somebody else to go. So how about Michael? How about you kick us off?
Okay. Hi. I don't know where to put links and things. I can put them, but I can also just say them. I'm Michael. I'm a teacher. I make role-playing games and I use them to teach kids. You can find me at luckoflegends.com if you want to sign kids up. I run a lot of games for kids. They build their own worlds there and write their own books. A lot of great ones going on right now. I also have a Kickstarter up for a game that is designed to be played at home. And it's going to be in people's houses this December. So super excited about that. Oh, thank you. I'm super nerdy about it. It's a coloring book, choose your own adventure, zero prep, play to learn game. You just sit down, open the thing up, and start doing stuff. And that's on Kickstarter. It's a project we love. It's fully funded, but we're going for our fourth stretch goal. So if you are at all interested, please come through and take a look. And I guess I will kick it to Mo.
Hey, that Starsworn Kickstarter, that Starsworn game is awesome. My kid digs it. And it was one of those, hey, let's play a game, and the arm twisting, and now I can't get him to shut up about it. So I'm Mo. I design games, and these days I'm making podcasts too. You can see some of my work at ashyfeet.com. And I'm going to kick it to Amanda.
Hi, how are you? Well, I'm Armanda. I'm a sommelier, like in my daily life. And I also a game designer who focuses on solo gaming. And well, you can find all my games and other links as social medias and everything on my itch.io page that it's there on the chat. It's armandah.itch.io. And well, I'm from Argentina, and so sorry about my English. That's all.
It's great.
It's dope.
It's fantastic.
Good.
It's way better than any of my other languages, except maybe Japanese.
And I think we have Andy who's left.
So hi, I'm Andy from Pandian Games. We make, I don't know, all sorts of stuff. We do horror games and cozy games and 2-player stuff. And then Armanda over here actually wrote the solo rules for our big game, Banda's Grove. So she is a fantastic solo designer. Really, really great. I think honestly, you probably kicked off the solo craze because when we first started talking, it was maybe one or two solo games out there, and then now it's just tons. And I think you were kind of at the forefront of that. So yeah, check out her stuff. She's really cool. All of her games are fantastic.
Pilgrimage of the Sun Guard. Sorry, I had to yell it. Such a good game.
That's an awesome game. Yeah, that is awesome.
Oh my gosh.
By Amanda P. Yeah.
Oops, I thought that was Armanda's
stuff on Pandy.
No, it happens all the time.
I'm so sorry.
We no worries, no worries. It's an amazing game, and I really recommend it a lot. It's amazing. It happens all the time with Amanda. We are also really friendly. We are not friends, but we know each other and we consult each other for different things. And it's so weird because sometimes it happens like we are like I'm Armanda and they are Amanda, and it's like I'm talking with myself or what? It's like weird sometimes. So no worries, it happens.
My apologies.
It happens.
I think xenoarchaeology is probably one of my favorites
it's so good.
you've made.
So,
That's a
so
really
good.
good one. But yeah, so check out our stuff. Sorry, I'm promoting other people.
Why are you promoting me?
Well, I mean, you've written for our games. You've done a lot of writing for our games. Actually, I'm pretty sure through 3 of our games you've done writing in. So yeah, I mean, you're part of Pandian Games in my opinion. But yeah, pandiangames.com, pandiangames.itch.io. You can find our stuff. And yeah, check it out.
Amazing. All right. And yeah, lastly, I'm René Pierre. I already said that. You can call me RP. My games are available at faryrpgs.com or fary-rpgs.itch.io. And yeah, like the cool thing about what we're doing today is that hopefully this is only the start, right? Because our plan is potentially to do this like a couple of more times and to play all of our games together. So today we're playing a game that I wrote that Andy and Armanda have really helped me a lot during the development. Even Michael even reviewed the thing and like sent me feedback about my fonts a couple of like months ago, and now the fonts are better, Michael. So thanks for your feedback because yeah, there were problems with those
That's
fonts.
just being nerdy. That's not help. You were like, "Do you want to talk fonts?" And I was like, "Can I?"
Michael's over here twitching out. He's like, please.
Can we talk about serifs? Let's go. Like, yeah. No.
Right. So the game we're going to play today is called Hopes and Dreams. And the thing about this game is that it was crowdfunded during Zemo 2022 in last February. And during this, I was able to basically get enough funds to be able to like hire an artist so that like she could make amazing illustrations that are in the game for all the different like kits. So they're basically like playbooks. So yeah, without further ado, we're gonna jump into the introduction of the game. So I'm gonna share my screen. And in this game includes a thing called the chapter 0. So within the chapter 0, there are basically a bunch of illustration, a little bit of like text bars about what the world is about, the people that live there, and the kind of like characters that y'all are going to imbue. So let me share a tab. Okay. All right. Can I just trying to figure out that things. Okay, here we go.
Whoa.
That's better.
This platform is so cool.
I know. I'm really nerding out. It's really pretty.
It's really pretty. I just know where to write in the general chat, but I will discover it.
I wanted that too. Thank you for asking.
You got to go to Twitch. You got to open
Twitch. I think
I have to open
can't you just type on the right? Like, don't you have like a chat section on the right?
No,
there is
a section, but I don't have a place to write.
I think what we wanted to say was, "Hi, Caesar." That was one thing.
Hi, Caesar.
That's what we wanted to say.
Hi, Caesar.
Okay, so the screen is a little bit small, so I'm going to read that out loud for you all. So, you are dreamers, a group of rebellious revolutionaries. You run through Ansbach interconnected streets or hide among the debris of its manufacturing plants. Your heart beats to the sound of the city. Your heart burns to make it a better place for you and for everyone. A city shrouded in everlasting fog, intense pollution from the factories swirls into the haze that descends from the cloudy peaks. Factories extract the minerals from the mountains to sell their riches to the world. It is within the smoke, dust, and soot that you will spark the fire of the revolution by sabotage, theft, or riot until you are heard. The revolution has already started, whether they believe it or not. Those who came before tried but failed. saying that the cause is doom and that things will never change. You believe everyone deserves the same opportunities, no matter where they come from or who they are. You've picked up those broken dreams, dusted them off to fulfill them as your own. Things will be different now. They must be. Through fear, control, and power, the ministry governs. Restrictions, curfews, checkpoints, and arrests are some of the many tools that they use to maintain their iron grasp. But nothing is as efficient at enforcing those rules, as their army of automated machines designed by the fabricators of the Citadel. They never tire and make sure that the way things are is the way things are always going to be. They are unstoppable, or so they say. Revolutions come at a price, and you're willing to sacrifice everything that you've got for your future, for your hopes, and for your dreams. And right there, I plugged the name of the game. Here we go. That's done. My jump is done.
I was hearing the drum roll. Yeah, the
Like-
smoke parting.
Where's good?
Like Tuxedo Mask with the cape. Just go away.
You need the little gleam and the sailor, adjust the mask. And then, yeah. I dig it.
When you're sitting in the movie theater and you kind of lean over and like, they said the title of the movie.
Did you catch that? It's clever. That's when it fades in, right? Let's go.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. So the next step is I would like you all to basically introduce who your characters are, which kit / playbook that they are going to embody, and like name, pronouns, and any additional information you have in mind, as many or as less as you feel comfortable saying, because we're gonna play this game. Like most of the people in this stream don't know the rules. I mean, like my players here don't know the rules, so we're going to introduce them as we play. So yeah, that's going to be very interesting. So Andy, you were the last one to introduce yourself, so how about you're the first one to introduce who your character is?
Okay, so my character's name is Stray Meyer, he, him. His nickname is Carrot, and I'm playing, my kit is a Good Eye, which is kind of like a sharpshooter, trapper, hunter style of character. My looks, got freckles, shaggy red hair, and I am a brother with Mo's character, who he will introduce shortly. And then, yeah, I'm skilled in tracking and shooting and traps.
Very nice. Mo, how about you go next?
I'm Glow, but mom calls me Fiverr, and me and Stray grew up together. And as things start getting rough, I really kind of hid from the world and began to really dive deep on how things worked, because that was something that I could learn about and maybe control. I'm a gearhead, and I keep my head in a robot or a device, hoping to make sense of the world.
Oh, that's
Michael.
Yeah, nobody's really sure how old Rat is. Generally, he's the oldest person anybody knows. He's got that quality of being so old that it seems like, he's probably been around and seen just about everything, and he doesn't do anything to disabuse anyone of that notion. He has a few pet rats. He tends to call them this'n and that'n, and they don't have names. Most of his clothes look like they've been patched so many times they're more patched than clothes, and that's probably accurate. They're also covered in all sorts of pockets because he's got lots of stuff he likes to keep around. Rat's done a lot of jobs, sewage, cleaning, maintenance. He knows a lot about how the city works, the ugly parts that the folks who wear pretty clothes don't like to talk about. And that means he's real good at getting into places and getting out. He's officially a fox, although he'll he would never accept that. His reaction to that would be, foxes are dead. There's a reason to. So
Quick question for you, Michael.
Yeah.
I had seen in the character keeper that your character was a she/her. So now you're
oh,
saying
I think
like
I
he, him.
swapped it. Yeah. Well, he would actually prefer it because he's not very
Okay.
fond of genders in general. He tends to think of those as a human notion, and he's not very fond of humans. That's the other thing you learn about Rat real quick.
Okay.
He tends to think people are kind of plague, and he likes all the critters that are good at adapting the same way humans are because they're less full of themselves.
Okay.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Thank you.
All right. I think we've got
Armando.
Armando.
Yeah, well, the name of my character is Lafo, but his nickname is Boots. It's a he, him. And the kit that I am playing, it's a suit. He specializes in deceiving people and stuff like that, and persuading and disguising and that kind of stuff. I haven't thought a lot about his background, but mostly what I imagine, this character has a lot of inside information because he's knowledgeable about the ministry, and he probably used to work for the ministry and get out somehow. Now he's like some kind of wanted person or something like that, but well, he's a master on disguising and escaping and that stuff.
Keeping my eye on you.
Right. Perfect. That's amazing. Yeah, a couple of things about the where we're gonna play, and like you've seen it a bit with the chapter 0, but basically if you've read the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson, if you've watched Arcane, the League of Legends show on Netflix, or Six of Crows, the series, like basically the same kind of vibe, like a bunch of revolutionaries. This word is so complicated to say for someone who's French, like, well, Quebecer, but whatever. But yeah, so that's basically like the themes a bit in the game. So you play as dreamers. There's an older generation that mostly refer as the broken, because they tried to make a revolution of their own, and the revolution just got like butchered by the ministry. This is where they arrive with basically their robots, the automates, right? They worked with like scientists, the fabricators of the university, created those automated machines and killed the revolution. And now it's the biggest status quo. People are just like afraid, and they're just like gonna do everything the ministry tells them to do. You are the dreamers trying to break those gears, and there's also a criminal organization, the biggest. There's a bunch in the city, but the biggest criminal organization in the city is called the Syndicate, and you might actually get to see them. But inspired by the great work that Michael and Mo have done in Old Fast Station, Hopes and Dreams includes a thing called writing the pilot episode, which is what we're going to do together. So let me share my screen. All right, this is a bit small.
There it is. Hey, that's what I'm having Hold Fast flashbacks. Check it out.
Hey, I'm giving credit where credit is due, right?
I love it. You're there to play with, man.
Right, so together we're going to answer a bunch of questions to write up the pilot episode, write up like basically what has been happening in the world before you embody your characters, because they've been living in this world for a while now, but you're basically taking control of them. This is the way I see it. So let's start. I'm going to say a couple of sentences, and there are options. You can also read them on the screen, and together we decide basically the choice. So we are dreamers, and we are alone, not enough, a few people, many people, an army, or something else.
I'm thinking we're many, but disorganized.
I agree with that.
Okay. Right, so it's a pretty big organization.
Yeah.
I like the
organization.
emphasis on disorganized.
Yeah.
Like nobody likes the system the way it is.
Yeah.
But there's no consensus on how to address it.
Okay, I like that. We come
Like
from
there's
different.
probably a lot of sympathetic people, but like we don't have our together. If you follow me, like nobody's figured out a way to fight back. So people are probably sympathetic, but it doesn't seem like it's doing it. It's punk kids like tagging walls. They're not really, or like random protests that get, you know, harshly
Or
reacted
also,
to.
Stepped
yeah,
on. Yeah.
or also you have people like maybe a little bit older that have seen what has happened and they want things to change, but they think that that's not the way, or and like a lot of mixed positions, you know, like everyone agrees that this is not right, or mostly a lot of people, but like maybe people acts on their own, like it's not like you have a small group and maybe you make direct action or stuff like that, and other people don't do anything and just think that democracy works. I'm not sure, whatever. But like a lot of like all the spectrum, you know.
Who said we're playing
Yeah.
science fiction fantasy? No,
Okay, perfect. We come from different backgrounds, but what bonds us together is the cause, death, the family, our friends, vengeance, or something else.
We'd have to know what the cause was, other than just, you know, gosh, we don't want what we've got. Like this sucks is not a cause. Like it's a reality, but it's not a cause.
No,
You gotta
know,
have-
here in Argentina on the 2001, we had a big social and economic turmoil. We have we are in crisis all the time, but that was pretty huge. And the thing that people was asking, like, it was like everyone should go, like every politician should go, and it's like, well, but that's fine, I agree, but if everyone goes, it's like something has to happen. It's not just we're anti stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you build?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not the
What
cause
are we
that unites
for?
us. Yeah. Maybe we're not. Maybe that's the part that keeps us disorganized, right? We can't decide what the next move is. That's where we come in. So what is it that bonds us then? Is it like family, like feeling of connectedness to like local groups, or
It sounds like what bonds us is the fight. But what's after the fight?
Yeah, or maybe something like I would say, yeah, I agree with that. But maybe also something like this is the place where our families grew, or this is the place that gives us a life, or
Our home.
our previous generation, and this is our home, and this is not right. This is not what we want here. I'm not sure. I'm just bouncing ideas. Because I can't read it's too small, and I don't know where my glasses are. So
there we
so
go.
I'm just
There we go.
Yeah, I think I like the idea of you know, neighborhoods and families being really close, because in a really awful
we
system,
have a family here,
right?
Yeah,
but like I like the idea that maybe the neighborhoods stick together, and that's also something that like keeps the larger cause from being more effective. Is like neighborhoods are looking after their own, and they're looking out for their own, and as a result, it's hard to get all, you know, everybody hates the way things are, but we're all fighting over the little resources we get in this system, and you hold to your own and you stick to your neighborhood. So family holds you together, but it also keeps you from like uniting against the larger problem. I don't know. That's my pitch.
So the family is not just like family, like blood family.
It's expanded
like
family.
It's an extended family, all your neighbors and your friends, and
And I can imagine there'd be like geographic lines that, like, you know, kids would brawl over, but like, you know, that's, everybody knows if you walk past this street, you're in so-and-so's area.
Some people want to flip. Some neighborhoods want to flip the table, but other neighborhoods just want it quiet.
Well, they're doing all right. You know, we got enough electricity to make it through the winter. We're not worried about you. We know you're cold. Don't come in our like. We're sorry for that, but like that's not our problem. My kid's warm.
Right.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's
Yeah.
it.
Before we started the stream over the week, we all worked together to set up like basic safety rules. So before we're gonna start playing, like there's a couple of like safety tools that we're gonna use. Like for example, like if anything is wrong at any point of the story, we pause. You make a big X with your hands, like anything, and we're just gonna talk. Yeah, big X. We're gonna talk over it, rewind, and redo the scenes as necessary. We've also talked about a bunch of topics that we consider to be out of bound that we will never touch on, in a couple of topics that might happen behind a veil. So that has already been established. Another thing that we will establish, which I think is also a bit part of the safety, is the next question. So we will do what we must for what is right, but we have a rule. We don't hurt people. We don't kill people. We protect our crew. We protect the city. There are no rules, or something else.
I think that don't hurt people. It's like maybe too ideal and kind of impossible. I'm not sure because of the setting that we
Right.
we we have these rivalries and these groups that don't get along, or that kind of that. I think that maybe it can be possible, but maybe don't kill people. It's okay. Like, but
I
I'm
think
not sure.
rats
I'm
take
just
good.
saying. I'm saying things that I don't think that we can do.
It's set up to be grim. That is part of
Yeah.
It's part of the setup
Right.
for the whole story. Even before we start answering questions, this is a story which seems to hinge on a pretty intense interaction between a downtrodden people and a system that is perfectly happy to oppress them.
Right.
I don't know. I guess I have a I would prefer not murdering people. I think Rat would put it this way. He'd be like, I don't kill anything I don't eat. So
No.
he probably
Oh,
wouldn't want to
no.
eat people. You know, it's just a waste of good resources.
If we
and the
kill
way he
people,
looks at it,
rats will have to eat them.
only people and cats do that. You know, that would be his take. So for what it's worth, there's my 2 cents. No killing.
No killing sounds fine to me. But
I'm good
Unless
with
you're
that
gonna eat
because
it. If you're gonna eat it,
track and
I mean,
track
Rat
and
would be
trap
okay
are
with
my
that.
2 big like chosen skills for a reason. Obviously, I make games where there's no combat, so I'm good with no killing people.
yeah.
Perfect.
perfect.
Oh, okay. For our latest hit on the ministry, we stole shipment from the port, burned down a tax collection building, infiltrated an automate factory, interrogated a fabricator, sabotaged a foothill lane train, or something else.
I like fire, you know. Fire is poetic, you know. It
Hard
has
not to
another
kill
meaning.
fire. One of those imprecise
Fire.
ones.
Sorry. Maybe
I like
we
fire.
put the
Armand
rule
in
after
2022.
that, you know? Maybe it was
Perfect.
an empty building.
Let's not kill anybody, but let's burn it all down.
No, we
It
gave
was a
them notice
fire. It
first.
wasn't us.
We got everybody out.
I love
Yeah.
it.
How about that? What?
No,
Okay, so what if
yeah.
we
No.
burned down a tax collection building, but we showed up in order to evacuate it? Like we were like, oh, we'll help you out. Like that's how we covered our tracks.
Midnight. You know, wait till the tax collectors go home. You know,
Yeah.
and then
I mean,
just
that's
make
true.
sure
It's
you.
a
All you got
bonfire.
to worry about is get out all the maintenance folks. You know, Rat
That's
knows
true.
how to talk to maintenance folks. He knows the ways to get in and out. We can do this. Yeah,
That's
I
fair.
buy
That's
this.
fair, yeah.
Okay.
I like it. I
perfect.
like it.
Okay, just a couple more questions. Our headquarters are located in a basement in Foothill Lane, the abandoned prison of Riverbank, the sewers of the Steel Cauldron, the city's scrapyard, the catacombs below the ministry, or something else.
I mean, you know,
I
Rat's
like-
preference.
Yeah.
It's the
we-
catacombs.
We have one vote for the sewers.
Just saying.
Sewers.
It's. I don't think so. I don't like sewers. I mean, my suit will get dirty there, you know.
I was thinking.
Sounds like a personal problem.
My collection of disguises
Well,
will
the
get
catacombs
dirty
might
there.
catacombs might be a compromise.
Yeah.
What
Shut
about the
thinking, like, it's
scrapyard
still-
from the gearhead, though? The scrapyard
I-
is a perfect place to find all the
The
parts and
scrapyard
pieces you
sounds
need.
fine. I like it.
I,
It's a lot
I
of
am very pro
resources.
scrapyard.
I'm down.
I'd like to think that Glow was the one that was like, I got a place.
Yeah, and it's like a middle ground between a normal house and the sewers, you know.
Yeah.
It's in
I'm
between.
just saying
yeah.
there aren't enough places to get out in
We
case
both
we need 'em.
compromise.
That's right.
Amazing. Okay, scrapyard it is.
Oh, boy.
The ministry recently decided to replace workers with automates, introduce a curfew in all districts, print propaganda about the Dreamers, set up checkpoints between districts, build a wall around the poorer districts, or something else.
I have a
I'm-
quick pause with dreamers as a term that has a very specific meaning for me. That refers to recipients of DACA who are in danger. So I'm not sure. Is that a general term in this game for like rebels?
It is usually like referred like you are like considered to be like the dreamers, and it is the name that the game gives to the players.
Okay.
But if we want to find another name, let's do it. Like or
Just
we can
personally, I've
also
worked with a lot of kids who were, you know, who I've been in. It's a thing for me as an educator. So like it means a particular thing, and it's hard for me to separate it. So it's like when I hear that term, I'm like, whoa. And yeah, I don't know. Is that okay?
And we
That
use
is-
rebels
yeah.
instead.
Rebels is perfect.
sounds fine.
Thank you.
Yep.
I
I'm
like
gonna
the
write
curfew.
it down.
I like the
I like
curfew.
the curfew too.
Yeah.
Right.
Plenty
I
of
feel that
opportunities
it gives
for balls.
us a lot of room to do stuff.
And
Yeah.
no, not so many innocent bystanders in case things go south.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
And that allows us to have a good
Burn
reason to
buildings.
burn down buildings
Oh God.
when everybody's supposed to be at home.
I am glad my son cannot hear your end of things.
Just little pyrotechnics.
Just a bit.
It's just a show. Nobody's there. It's all
It's an
safe.
evening bonfire, roast marshmallows, the tax buildings, the kindling.
Let's have a weenie roast. Let's have a weenie roast at the Ministry of Justice. Let's go. Yep.
It's
I'll bring the
just a
buns.
campfire. We sing
Right.
songs around this
bring your
building
guitar.
burning down.
Get a little tambourines. We're set.
Harmonica.
Perfect.
Yeah, it'll be perfect.
Suddenly we're playing Bandas Grove.
It was Bandos Grove all along.
Gonna have to make a sign for the new campsite out of the charcoal. You have like 2 pieces
Out of
of
the
charcoal,
charcoal, yeah.
burnt wood. Yeah. let's go.
Perfect.
Okay, next question. The fabricators discovered a rune that can. So fabricators are the people that have come up with the robots, right? So and they play with runes. So they study runes, they apply them on objects, and those objects are then imbued with magical properties. They are connected with the flows of magic in the world, and then like those objects are now have powers, though they can overeat and basically like create like trouble if they aren't properly applied. So fabricators discovered a rune that can remove any sound within a zone, calms a person's emotions, read what someone is thinking about, stop a fast-moving object in mid-air, or make an object weight more or less than it should. Something else.
Mass changing is too much fun. That's
I
my
was gonna say
vote.
that was going to be my first thought. Is like the idea of the more or less. Wait.
Okay, more or less weight. Also, like generally, fabricators aren't necessarily like for the rebel cause. They mostly work for the ministry. So this might be something that you will have to basically fight against.
Okay.
The Syndicate, which is a criminal organization within the city, recently threw more oil on the fire when they took control of the scrapyard. That probably stole and hijacked some automates, made miners their new drug dealers, developed a new kind of automatic weapon, hired most of the city's markers, or something else.
Markers?
So yes, markers are basically fabricators that didn't go to university. They are people that learned on the spot or like through mouth to ear, and then they just like figured things out. Yeah.
Like Glow. Glow's a
Something like a
marker.
militia or something like. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that they hijack some automates or they have a new kind of weapon.
Okay.
I like hijack.
Yeah, I could go with those. Please, no drug dealers, no drugs.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with that.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so stolen hijack some automates. Is that what we're going with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lastly, on the other end, the population of the city is starting to question the ministry's restrictions, work on a people-owned newspaper, set up worker unions across the city, leave the city to go live somewhere else on the continent, do more and more black market related activities, or something else.
Armando seemed excited about something.
Yeah, I like the idea of, though we are not organized, that people acts upon their desire, you know? Like I rather them to question the ministry's restriction or work on a people's own newspaper or setting up worker unions, like something that actually move something forward, you know, like no, we are not running away and we are not like vibing with the crime scene, you know. Something that it's positive.
Well, a newspaper
somehow.
could totally be a place for the different neighborhoods to come together and be like, oh, it's this thing. We can take action on this. We're all mad about the same thing. Same thing with worker unions. Like worker unions could create bridges between the neighborhoods where it's like, okay, we're all working together. That one guaranteed to piss off people in power every time.
Journalists are the right.
Both.
Yeah,
I was thinking worker unions, but yeah.
Well, that too. Yeah, both.
Any of those two for me work.
Mo,
it can be both of them.
I think they're all pretty awesome. You know, I'm very familiar with some journalists, and that own a newspaper thing can get pretty gristly.
You have to fight the printers because they don't send you any more tests. So now you have to print them without knowing what you're going to print.
I mean, there's so many points of failure, from just intimidating the people who write the stories to intimidating the people who print it to intimidating people who deliver it.
To just mess with the paper supply or very basic.
It's ultimately, if people tried to do that, it'd be doomed to fail.
Michael, you are reading my mind. I was like, okay, what can I throw at those characters? And then I thought, we're a bunch of like publishers where paper supply demand affects our lives.
Yeah.
So
I think
figuring
out publishing right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is perfect. All right. The last thing, this was the last of the questions. There's only two other things that we need to do, is basically define the group's dream and the group's nightmare. I'll stop sharing my screen so we can see all those beautiful faces again. There we go. Perfect. So, hello, the dog. Right. So the group's dream. Oh, that's fine. I'm lucky. My dog is sleepy right now. So. Right, so we need to define the group's dream and the group's nightmare. So those are basically two things that are opposite to one another, and their group's dream is basic. Oh, wow.
Just for a second, you don't have to react. You could just, she's just here all the time. She's a good girl.
How can we not react, Michael? That's
I'm sorry. Yeah, I feel like it's required in every online thing. I'm like, I want to see pets. So if that, I don't know if everybody else is like that. I should have asked for introducing the dog, but
Yeah, so the group's dream is basically the rebels' short-term goals. Well, you're part of the rebel organization, your short-term goal. And the way that it works in the game is that as you work towards your dream, you will, this is how you get new abilities in this game. And while I'm not sure we're gonna get there within this short one shot, this is basically what it amounts to. The group's nightmare is basically the direct opposition to this. So as you are trying to get closer to your dream, there's also something that's creeping in closer, and that some mechanics will play in that will make the nightmare progress. So there's a dream track in the game and a nightmare track, and some of your actions will increase one, and some of the consequences to your action will increase the other. So there are some examples, for example, like turn the population against the ministry, find a weak point to the automates, take control of a certain region in the city. But I think we've established a couple of very nice things towards when we're in the pilot episode. So what I'm curious I'm curious to see if you have any ideas.
So and people are obviously welcome to throw in their own ideas. I think it would be an interesting dream to secure the success of this newspaper, right? Like as like we know that there's a lot of places to fail, but we see this as like the first big step on the path to securing our better future. Is like we have to have this independent functioning newspaper, and the ministry stopping at nothing to try to, like, they know that. And so like that's our first like dream, is like this newspaper is established and it's protected.
Mo had typed in chat, bring the neighborhoods together. Yeah, like I like the idea that if there is an independent source of factual evidence about what they're up to, and that we can maintain it despite it being, attempted to be crushed, then there's a chance for the neighborhoods to come together and actually find common cause. Because it's real hard to like get angry at the larger system if you're angry at your neighbor who has slightly more electricity. Like you're real focused on like, no, we got to jack their power lines. Shut up. We need to make sure we got enough heat for next week. I don't want to hear about the ministry right now. If you got a newspaper that's coming to everyone somehow, an actual network of information that is accurate, then you got a chance to get mad about something bigger together.
Totally agree. Like knowing, being able to discern who the real enemy is, it's much more important than anything else,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, and yes, and.
Yes, and then yes, perfect. So how would we phrase that? Like, secure the success of the newspaper. I used to say this, but like then it jumped to something else a bit. So like, would you phrase that as more like unite the neighbors, like unite like all the different like branches of the rebels?
Unite the neighborhoods with a common enemy? I don't know.
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
The branches of the rebels. I think kind of we settled on the newspaper being the tool to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So
totally
secure the newspaper to bring together the branches of the rebels.
Maybe I'm not sure how the newspaper is working right now, but maybe securing that the newspaper reaches everyone or something like that would also work too. Like every neighborhood should have a place where you can get sounds like more doable,
I wrote it up as free factual news for all. Show the many who the real enemy is.
Yeah, you said, Armanda, you said the news reaches everyone. Not everyone, just the us.
Yeah, that's the ones.
Now you're just like them.
Not them.
Not them, just us. Yeah.
Wait. Sorry. But if you can get it to them, guaranteed, and Armanda, your character would know this best, right? There are going to be some disillusioned members of the ministry with backgrounds in neighborhoods who know what's happening is wrong. That newspaper could be the excuse they need to flip and help us sabotage this stuff.
Totally. We can do that.
We're going there, Mo. We're going there.
Okay. And now in direct opposition to this, like, what's creeping closer? What could make the whole effort of the rebels take a step back, right?
Can I go metaphorical and propose something?
Always.
Ah,
Okay, there's a new technology that's very immersive. We can go as high tech or as low tech as we want to go with it. Maybe it's a pill that you take that puts you in an immersive collective conscious. Maybe it's maybe it's
a
a
new headset.
An internet
Of
pill.
of course, it's the verse we know. That's why I said go metaphorical. We don't have to go literal, but but yeah, of
Metaphorical.
course, yeah. Oh.
Oh, no,
died.
Andy.
Why are you groaning? I'm right.
Oh God, that's what the name of the technology is. It's called metaphorical. And so yeah, metaphorical is coming. The ministry's promoting it, and it's a complete stranglehold on your understanding of reality. Once you've been plugged in, there's no way you're going to believe anything else.
Love it. How do you guys feel about that?
I like it. It'd be great if it
Honestly.
doesn't kind of go too far into the like drugs
Yeah.
Okay.
kind
That
of
makes sense.
avenue. I feel like drug plot lines are really easy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Well, and problematic
Yeah,
for a
I like
number of reasons.
the idea, but I agree with Mo. Maybe, yeah, well, maybe some kind of chipping. I'm not sure how to say it. Some way, like you go to a certain place and they put a chip on you. I'm not sure how to say it. So maybe something like more technological and physical, like it's
Yeah.
a change you do in your body, like maybe
I could
that
see it almost like
could-
it's a headset and it's being sold to the masses as like, hey, yeah, your neighborhood is kind of like, it's not great. Like the world is, you're upset about things. Here's this magical VR land, blah, 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 whatever. But then like, it is kind of like, I don't want to say mind control, but like,
you get to see
definitely
Netflix on your head.
How
I
about
gotta-
like
perfect.
how about like this thing? Like the way I'm imagining it is a bit like in Horizon Zero Dawn, where like the main character has like this little chip on her head, and then she can see additional things in the world, additional information or whatnot. But then maybe this thing is a way for the ministry to listen to people, or to, I don't know.
They got an AI who's absorbing all the data and using it algorithmically to predict where the next XYZ is going to happen. I was thinking
to
about it
sell
as an
you
access.
better shoes. Yeah, like
Or just make
Yeah.
sure that you have the correct behavior and the correct, you're not doing anything anomalous. But yeah, I was thinking like, I don't know, I always think about access. It's like computers, right? Like once everything is digital to a certain extent, it becomes a way to exclude anyone who isn't chipped, right? So, you don't have identity. You're not chipped. Like you're not on our grid. So you can't own a bank account and you can't get a loan and you can't secure any funding or vote for anyone. So you're sort of damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If you
does
get
people
chipped,
vote in this world? Sorry, I'm not sure how it
Oh.
works.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't
Just
think
asking.
they might vote but not vote. But yeah.
Yeah, like what is established in the book is that there's like basically a council of ministers, and there's like 9 of them taking care of the different aspects of the city. But then how they are elected, maybe like they're there until they retire, and then they are replaced by somebody else. But maybe it's all like the way I think I see it is it's all handled internally, and I don't think the process is necessarily like transparent.
Now I'm thinking, like I'm just roaming around the subject, like maybe there's a chance that they are building an IA to not to control people, but to rule this place. Like it will rule it forever or something like that, because it's a machine and it's programmed so it won't die. And sounds terrifying. Not that I'm saying
There you
it.
go.
How
AI to
about
maintain
like
perfect systems?
Yeah, like right, because we know there are like the robots, there are the automates, right? And right now
Yeah.
they are single-minded. They are like they are told what like they are told something maybe by the city guards, and then they do that thing. But what if they're currently working on a hive mind to basically take control of all of them at the exact same
Yeah,
time?
like making a HAL, you know, for
Yes.
but for
That's
all the
nice.
city or
I'm
something like
sorry,
that.
Dave.
I'm sorry, I can't do that
Beautiful.
for you, Dave.
Okay.
Yeah, there's definitely some like recent games
Just
and books
saying
that like touch
something.
on this, and that it's a really interesting. Like they themselves are not malicious.
Well, for me, I
It's
think
the
the key is not.
programming.
Yeah, right. Well, the key for me is not the maliciousness of the thing; it's the fact that it was programmed by humans.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And represents every single bias and every single prejudice and every every
Of
piece
the
of
programmers, yeah.
every decision made in the testing process that replicated all of the offensive biases of the people making the thing. So
Yeah, that
but I
sounds
don't
nightmarish.
I don't imagine the ministers would want to surrender to this thing, because most people don't want to give up their control. I would
What
more
if it's
imagine this as being like a maintenance, like this is going to run systems for the city. It's going to automatically deploy automates to wherever. We're not going to have to worry about monitoring public reactions. They're going to be suppressed automatically because we'll have the
Hold on.
surveillance we need.
Hey Mo, can you expand on
Oh, okay.
your idea?
So I'm seeing a thread where essentially the AI is talking about what resources are available, and it's not personal that there's not enough for the people.
Oof.
It is simply the brass tacks, and the tax collectors have the truth. They have records of who's paying what, and the maybe the poor people are actually paying more and getting less. Sorry,
Maybe that's why
this might be
I got you, Mo.
we put on fire the tax building.
we burned the tax building,
Ooh!
but we burned tax records.
Yeah.
Well, it's in the
So
problem
do we-
is we burned it down hoping that we'd burn the tax records, but Metaphorical had them. They had all the data already.
Well, but maybe we got the data, and so now we can report the data in the
Or they're
To
newspaper.
the newspaper.
And they're
In the
coming for us.
newspaper.
Okay. There's more than we thought
Yeah.
there was, and the problem, although they have represented it as being, although Metaphorical has represented the issue as being one with quantity, the real issue is there is distribution.
Right, because
And
now
Welcome
you have
back
the
to
information.
reality.
So again, this kind of can take us to the truth that we're trying to share with the neighborhoods and communities. This can kind of take us to a lot of
Stop
things that
fighting.
we've already kind of touched on.
Yeah,
I
stop
like
fighting
that.
each other. They're keeping it from us.
Okay, I like all of this. I think this is
It's not what
brilliant.
we
So
have
how
to do. It's
But
just
we have to
it's just
define the
something I thought.
nightmare, don't we?
No, I like it.
we do.
That sounds nightmarish. I think that qualifies
Yeah.
as a nightmare.
Let's
So
go.
Handy, how would you phrase it?
I could send NPR articles if you're interested.
Thank you. No, I'm aware.
People are being
Um,
chipped, and then they are inventing a blockchain for the chip. You know.
Yes.
So I guess the end outcome is that the AI, the nightmare is that the AI succeeds in distributing its version or its understanding of
Yep.
these resources and taxes,
Yep.
and the truth of that is gone. Right. So I think that's the nightmare, right? Like there's this success of these true factual documents of that there is a distribution and an inequality issue, not an actual
Scarcity of resources.
scarcity issue.
Yeah.
That the AI has been trained to believe and act upon.
Mhm.
We lose that, and thus the only authoritative source is the incorrect one.
It almost makes you want to go jack the AI's data input source and be like, we're gonna feed it the news. Like,
Bingo. There you go.
we got to
And-
run.
and-
you know,
Hack the planet.
And the real question is like, who has enough? Who has more influence over the syndicate? Because they are the other factor in play.
That is true. That is true.
Okay.
we got
Does that
this.
sound?
Yeah,
I think
we
we
got this.
good. Are we? Yeah. Love it.
I think
Let's
we've got
go.
enough information to actually start playing.
Yeah.
Woo! Cool. Excited. So, where should we start? So this the streaming platform I'm using for this is like a soundtrack feature. So I'm gonna try to
Wow.
click on the button like it uses
So
like a
good, this
royalty free.
platform.
Sorry.
Mo needs a Mo's calling for a break. Can we do like
No.
5 minutes?
We don't have to take a break. I'll
Okay.
be right back.
But if
Okay.
you got to
it's
do
okay?
it, then I want to get a little bit of coffee. Can I do that?
Oh yeah, let's take like
2 minutes.
five 5 minutes. Yeah, fiver. So
Fiver.
just make sure to mute yourself and close the camera, and let's hang in the chat when we're all ready.
All right.
Perfect.
All right.
Hi.
And
Here's
we
another
have
dog.
a puppy.
All right. Oh,
This is Nami.
oh,
she's
hey,
a
Nami is
I
like
should've-
classic internet Doge, like absolutely like picture perfect Doge.
She's so sleepy.
Simone is still
Oh.
curled up. She always comes in and she's got this little bed that she parks herself in. She always keeps me company whenever I'm on a meeting or whatnot.
Oh.
So it's the best.
Oh. Nami's shedding right now, so it's messy.
And you're wearing a black shirt. This is not a
Yeah.
good combination. Yeah, that's always the
I've
way.
got a. My dog is I think there was someone at the door. The dog got excited. I think he wants to say hi. Cool.
Oh,
Hola, bebé. Oh.
Well,
such a
I can't go get my
prestigious,
puppy
like
right now.
Yeah, Nami.
the
Oh.
graying beard,
Right.
like such dignity.
He's only like 2 years old, but he looks like older.
So cute.
Oh man.
It's the white in the beard.
Yeah.
Right in the beard.
Yeah, I had to stop growing mine out because now I look like, I don't know, Rip Van Winkle every time I grow it out because literally everything's white when it comes out.
Embrace the
Yeah.
whiteness.
Oh, I like it. It's just,
Yeah.
my partner is not a fan of beards to begin with, so I don't get the
Oh, okay, fair
opportunity
enough.
to. Every time it gets past a certain degree, she's like, out, go.
Mm-mm.
I'm like, okay.
Too much.
I get that.
Okay, amazing. I think I would like for us to start in your headquarters in the scrapyard. But before we start there, yeah, the scrapyard. Like it seems like a perfect place. It's also a bit different than like you all start in the pub or in a tavern. So like let's break some tropes. And one thing I'd like to know to help me to set the scene. What does your headquarters looks like? Like where are you located? Is it basically inside the scrapyard? Like what do you have a roof, or is it just like you meet there once a week at this particular
No, this is
spot?
your stomping grounds.
Yeah. I think we have a large vehicle. I don't know if it's a bus that has doors.
Garbage truck.
Maybe a garbage truck that we've kind of hollowed out, and it has its formal entrance, but we have a couple of escape routes in case things get hot. And there's enough space in there for each and every one of us to do something and also bring stuff in. And I my question for you guys is the printing press here?
Ooh, important key element. Is this the headquarters of the news?
Yeah, is this the headquarters of the news? Because I think it be, but maybe this is a more public place people know to find us.
Mo, what if
And
what if we were the ones through the scrapyard that built the printing press?
mm-hmm.
Maybe,
but is it here?
You built the press.
Yeah, I'm with that. But is it here?
I want to say, so I'm going to make my pitch for the sewers again because I know you all don't respect my particular part of the city because you don't understand. But here's my pitch for the sewers. 1, real hard to get in and find it. 2, real hard to break it down. We could construct it piece by piece in a place it can't be extracted from because the tunnels are too small for the whole thing to be pulled out. And it's a distribution network.
Good.
Once you're in the sewers, you can deliver anywhere in the city, long as you got the know-how, and I got the know-how.
So the scrapyard was where we constructed the parts, but it was taken and then assembled in the sewers.
Yep.
And
that's where we have to do the printing.
An amazing place to have clean paper.
Who said it's clean? It's recycled.
It's recycled.
It's recycled.
Nobody got any clean paper around here.
We also
Part
leave
of what
the
we're trying to figure
recycler.
out.
We harvest it.
Yeah, it's mulched. There's got to be some where we've got big vats
No,
of
I
like
imagine, yeah.
horror layers of
Sounds
cloth,
amazing.
like,
I really like it.
disintegrating.
Yeah. I also think that maybe we can like steal the paper from the ministry. You know,
Oh yeah.
its paper is expensive. We
Yeah.
don't have paper. We're poor. So,
We
well,
recycle all those wanted posters.
yeah,
Oh.
Tax
that
collectors have
wanted
paper.
wanted
All the
posters paper
propaganda
is
posters. All the
amazing.
propaganda.
It's amazing to print a newspaper. You know, like
Yeah.
maybe one side
Recruit
we yeah we can print it on one side, and on the other side it's our pictures. You know.
Yes.
I thinking about this tax collector fire makes me wonder: have we put out a paper yet? Because it is a great way to get the information, to get the resources, the paper. But have we actually put out a paper yet? Like, are we targets yet?
Just
I think
to
this is
see.
our first run. Yeah, I think we got.
Yeah,
I think we're getting ready to print the first run, and so I'm going to pose that we've got gangs of kids that we're paying, in food or some kind of little peanuts to rip down all the printed material all over the city and deliver it to the scrapyard.
Charles Dickens is sponsors this moment.
Yes. The Artful Dodger is definitely in charge of printing material source operations. And then so the above ground, like the truck, which I imagine is being kind of built into a mountain of scrap, and we've kind of tunneled out under there, and we've got, because it's not going anywhere. Like the truck is not actually mobile. It's it's a beginning of a building. And then we've got, and that's where everything goes down and out and into the Warrens underneath.
The Warrens.
Okay, so there's a quick access to the sewers from the truck.
Yeah.
It's a ladder.
It's a ladder. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. That makes sense.
It's a slide.
We call it an access port. Use proper terminology.
It's one of those yellow playground slides that we built, and it slides down into the sewers. Scrapyard.
A chute,
Okay.
even.
Shoot.
I don't like to use that verb.
Barter.
I think this is where we're going to start. So, it's probably like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning, and the mist has started to like really like dwindle from the top of like the cloudy peaks, and like one of the first region that like gets affected first is like the scrapyard, because it is really very like it is pretty close to where the mountains are actually like going up. So like, and also like because of like the directions of the winds, like all the dusts and the clouds from the industrial like districts that basically pull all of that close to the scrapyard. So it's not, the air is not necessarily breathable, and the visibility isn't like it's not nice to breathe in, and the visibility is like far from perfect, especially that early in the morning. And Michael, I'm going to start with you. So Rat is your nickname, right?
Well, it's what people call me.
So I'm gonna call you that, or you can call you Ori, as you wish. But
No, he wouldn't share that. Like they're not interested in sharing that with anyone else. Everybody just knows him as Rat.
Perfect. So Rat, it's early in the morning, and you're currently like within this graphic. What are you doing like this early in the morning? Like, are you awake or are you sleeping?
Usually, Rat spends a lot of time. Fitful sleep is the only kind of sleep you tend to get. So he curls up in likely spot and grabs a couple of winks here and there. But he tends to wake up when his rats are awake, and rats tend to be, diurnally and fitfully in the dawn and the dusk. So he tends to wake up real early mornings and early evenings, and he doesn't like the middle of the day. Occasionally he'll deal with the middle of the night. So we're gonna say he's awake, and I'm gonna say he's checking on the mulch, because there is one area we've tunneled through in the junkyard where all the mulch has been deposited, and there's a series of sort of like makeshift vats where we're soaking and blending together all of the reclaimed paper and then pressing it out. And so he's going to go check on the process, make sure there are no impurities, and feed this and that who are riding on his shoulders and in his clothes.
Okay, so I'm going to propose something, and tell me if that works out, because I know you had y'all had already established a couple of things, and I want to see where that goes through. But I would like to have like one of the kid comes like directly to you, one of the kid that you'll want to take under like your umbrella, that that is interested in distributing basically the papers, but they're not printed yet, and I would like to assume that like you probably don't have enough paper, or maybe the paper that you had like got soaked within the sewers and whatever. And I imagine the kid coming up to you. He's like, rat, hey, how's it going?
Rat kind of looks at him and goes, I don't know exactly what the purview of your question is. Are you trying to say hello, or are you asking me about the state of some ongoing process?
This is complicated. I was trying to say hello.
feeding his rat on his shoulder. Go ahead.
I was just trying to say hello, but
Well, hello. If we were rats, we would have already sniffed at each other and established that we recognize both each other's identities and recent history. But given that my sense of smell is not that well developed, I give you greetings.
He feeds his rats a little more.
yeah, he's a bit like shy, and he's like all this back is like curled.
Go on, say what you gotta say.
No, but I don't want you to be mad.
Well, that all depends on what you say next. But do I have a reputation for losing my temper?
I don't.
Okay. Love that.
Stepping out. No.
Well, I don't think so, but hey,
I want to establish an out of. I'm imagining that Rat talks to the kids a lot and tends to get along with the kids. He talks to everybody the same way. Adults find him a little bit obnoxious, but kids tend to understand him well because he explains everything, and he talks to them the same way that he talks to adults, which they appreciate. So he tends to work a lot with the scavengers and the urchins. They also like that he's always got a few rats around. Because who doesn't like a couple little adorable pets?
That totally.
Go ahead, say something about rats. Rat, I'll give you a lecture.
So the kid continues, and he's okay. Well, you there was like a big shipment of paper that was supposed to come to the port that like last night, and you asked me like to go and check if if the operation would be a success, if people would be like people from the honored neighbor would be able to like get the paper for us for the printing press, like nice paper. But the ministry, like, they arrived and they just like they escorted everything out of the port with like dozens of machines. There was like nothing nobody could do. So like I'm really sorry. I really wanted us to get that paper, but didn't know what to do myself.
Rat kind of looks at the kid.
Says, did you in some way let the ministry know that they needed extra surveillance?
Me? No, not
Then
at
why
all.
are
Like,
you apologizing? You didn't do nothing wrong.
He sits back a little and he kind of rubs his chin, and then he reaches in his coat and pulls out a little flask, and he opens it and he takes a swig. He offers it to the kid. He says, don't worry, it ain't lidded. I make it myself out of all natural herbs and spices. Kid takes one whiff and it smells absolutely wretched. Rat is very into living natural, just to establish that.
Let me see what the kid does. I'm just gonna throw some dice on the floor and then lose them.
That's a great way to decide things. Just throw
First
some dice
dice
at it.
roll.
Let's go. Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, the kid trusts you at that point, and he's just like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna take a swig.
It's
As well,
cayenne
and then,
pepper, apple cider vinegar, but like, coffee. There's a whole
That
bunch
sounds
of bitter,
amazing.
sour. Yeah, I know. Actually, I was kind of like, you know what?
You know,
I-
we
I've
could
been-
actually make this later.
Yeah,
Well,
I think we have
wait, okay.
enough an official drink for the game. That's I'm gonna put that cannon in the game.
Pro tip: if you've got an H Mart near you, go look into fruit vinegar. It's the best trick for non-alcoholic cocktails ever. It's amazing.
It's really good.
It's like fruit concentrate and vinegar, and if you split it right with like sparkling stuff, it's the best mocktail. Okay, but yeah, so okay, the kids, it's the put steel in your spine.
Yeah.
So the kid kind of straightens up, I'm imagining, and Rat says, "Any chance you or anybody, any of your compatriots, were able to identify the location that the ministry transported the paper to?"
I just like I didn't want to be catched, so I didn't follow. Like this wasn't according to the plan, and like I'd like to follow the plan. So I just like as soon as that arrived, I just like left.
Plans do change. Learning to think on your feet's something you'll grow into. Well, better rise everybody else up.
And turns around and starts shuffling back, and then he stops for a second, turns around, and he goes,
You did good, kid.
claps him on the shoulder, then turns back and shuffles into the thing and starts banging on the wall. Big garbage truck. So this is like a clanging, bonging, like dong dong dong. He goes,
Everybody up. Everybody look alive. Bright eyes, bushy tails, whiskers, river. Let's go.
This is Carrot's least favorite way of waking up every day. And Carrot's just like, oh God, not again.
it's
And,
never
but gets up
predictable
out of
either.
bed.
You can never predict. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
you don't
wish
ever know
would-
what time.
You wish there was a schedule, but he never obeys one. Yeah.
Glow
coming
is
out,
hot out
like-
of bed with a weapon in hand, looking for the fight, and very pissed off when Rat.
Calm down. Like Rat puts his hands in the air, drops the flask, goes,
Settle down, youngsters. It's just we needs to have a powwow.
Actually, I should say
There's
we need
chicken
to have a
coffee.
get together. I was so in character that I used a terrible phrase. I apologize. We need to have a get together, a convo.
Boots always wakes up as if he's going to work in an office, like
Oh God.
perfect. And he has already drunk 2 liters of coffee, and it's perfect, and always acts perfectly, like you don't know how, but his suits are always pressed and perfect. So to me, it's just the same. Another day in this place.
You're already sipping the coffee you've already poured.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
lovely.
Mhm.
all
Carrot's
right,
like holding out his cup to be like, I was like, I'll take some coffee. Just like
That Rat pours it full of whatever's in flask. Like he holds out the cup
mix
and
it together.
Rat there before the coffee gets there, and he's like, "Ah!"
Rat
Everybody
coffee.
knows terrible stuff.
No need
I
to
feel like
label
Carrot's
it.
gotten used
They'll
to
put
some rat coffee in the morning.
What's so urgent that we can do these social niceties, but we couldn't wait till folks woke up?
Says, well, I believe everybody needs their right kind of energy and mindset before dealing with a serious problem. Come on in here.
He's like not crawl is not the right word, but he's like his feet aren't necessarily going fast. Okay, he's just like moping around. Like, okay, this is a bit too much attention. I'm okay with talking with Rat, but all of them together, like
Rat kind
it's a bit intimidated.
of like puts a hand on his shoulder, and says,
If you want, I can summarize.
looks down at the kid and sees if the kid goes yes or no.
I think he sees it as an opportunity. Like he's shy, but I think he's like,
Okay.
one day I could be with them,
Mhm.
right? So he wants
On the
I
back.
think he-
Pats him on the back.
Do we have the kid's
You
name?
can do this.
Yeah.
Andy, what's the kid's name?
Oh gosh. I would
Kid's
open my
name is
mouth.
Moke.
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 M-O-K-E.
Moke.
Perfect. Moke.
Yep. AKA Moki.
So I assume at this point, like Carrot is aware of some of the kids around here, and it's just kind of like, what do you got for us, Smoke? I'm assuming it's not the best of news.
No, sir, it is not. So we were supposed to like steal some paper at the port, but like as soon as the boat docked, we just couldn't. Like there were a bunch of like machines and like guards from the ministry, and they just like packed everything inside big like cars and just left. There was like nothing we could do, and now I just don't know. Like as soon as I saw this, I just came right back here to tell y'all. But it's
What kind of
I'm
machines?
sorry.
Strange. Sorry.
What kind of machines?
Oh, they were the automates. Like they were just like they were listening to those guards, and they just like protected the cars and like just make sure that nothing could be done to them. They were armed.
So Rat leans back, he's puts his feet up and he looks around the room and he goes,
Way I sees it, we got problems. First problem is where they took the paper and how to get it back. The second problem is,
and then he looks around the room real slow and his eyes land. What's your suit's name again, Armanda?
Boots.
Boots, that's right. And he goes,
second problem is who squealed.
and then he folds his arms and stares at the suit, giving Boots the eye. I just figured it was a great setup that you used to work
already.
He goes,
I thought
so did I. He goes, so did I. Funny thing, shipment got jacked. What a wonder.
Feeds his rat a little bit on his shoulder.
Boots has proven himself time and time again, right? You know that. That's why he's here.
I ain't said nothing. I simply identified two issues that need to be resolved.
Yeah.
Please. Conference.
And he gestures.
I'm going to try to find out. Boots, it's like I'm already used to this, and it happens all the time. So he just like sips his coffee and says, "I'm going to track down the paper again." And this information didn't come from me, so I'm not sure who squealed. But
I think Boots told us about the delivery in the first place, right?
No, I haven't.
That would be. Oh, okay. I'm just playing that. I hope it's all right, Armanda. I just was like,
no,
I thought it would be great to have Rat be suspicious of the dude who used to work for the ministry. That just seemed like Rat would be.
You built it's like a Unabomber, you know, something like that.
He's a creepy old Crustosaurus. Yeah, he is.
Well, maybe, I got the information but I'm going to check out with my sources, you know, but because I truly believe that the problem comes from there, not from us. We've been working some time already, and I'm going to try to sort this out. And
I might be able to pick up at least which directions they were going or which way they were heading. I should be able to track the tires and the machines pretty easily from the port. That would at least give us a starting point. And if we can identify where they took the paper, that might help you narrow down who tipped off.
Rat kind of rubs a hand
skill
through his beard, and he picks something. He finds something in it and goes, eats it, and then and then he says, he looks around.
That was for my rat.
Bring it up for the class.
He says, well, hang on, I can look. He kind of digs around a little and throws something over.
He says, you never know, it's practical, but way I sees it, even if we locate the paper, if we got a leak in the organization, well, they may be waiting for us.
We can do a thing like set up false information or something like that to track down where the leak is.
So Rat says, right now, as far as we know, this information is limited to the 5 of us. Oh, I'm sorry, 7 of us.
You see the one of his rats tugs on his ear, and he's like, "Sorry,
I'm sorry, 7 of us.
And then he says, he says,
So as far as we know, our next step needs to be something that can't leave this room.
and he looks over to Moke and he goes,
You in to stay for this? Because I'm in to have you long as the rest of them are.
I'll stay. I can do this.
he pats him on the back and he
May-
says,
Close the door and come on in.
Does
Am I
Moke
able
look
to
a little
do-
better
sorry.
fed than anybody else than should?
Good question.
So I would like
Good question.
so I have an ability that's this story doesn't fit.
Yeah.
And I'm able, so I would like to basically do a vibe check on Moke.
Yeah. Let's know.
And just be like, I've seen these kids around. I know kids are easily bought and paid for. Like, that's
Actually,
what we're
I find
doing.
I find the opposite is true. Kids are way more reliable than adults. Adults will flip for a dime.
If you're hungry,
This
food
is
is a
true.
motivator.
And family.
Um,
If you got other family to take care of, that's the
Yep.
thing that'll flip you.
So when someone is talking in front of you, you get a pretty accurate feeling if they are lying or not. So with all the conversations, do I have to roll for that? RP?
No, this ability is basically just like 100% narrative. So this
Okay.
is absolute narrative power, and I will tell you that you feel like the kid is not telling everything. Like you feel like you've got to like you start analyzing. Actually, like you tell me. How about you tell me how you can grasp someone's like feeling and how they think. Like, what are you looking at when you're kind of like vibe checking?
So I look at definitely checking out body language mostly, and I noticed that although like he's nervous, he's always been a nervous kid around us, but he seems a bit more fidgety. He's kind of cagey in his responses of, he's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Like he feels guilty about something. Like he would like to say something, but man, he really wants to be in this group, and he feels like if he's honest, that chance might be gone. Is kind of like the body language and like the verbal cues that I think I pick up on.
So it's Stray, or what is it? Spray? What is it? Your name?
Who,
Andy?
me? I'm
Yeah.
Carrot.
Carrot. Okay,
Carrot.
that's right. Okay.
So
All right, your real
I'm-
name was yeah. I was remembering.
Oh yeah, Stray. Stray Meyer.
Okay,
So I'm gonna go over to Moke and just kind of like quietly, like as you're closing the door, and I was like, now one of our big rules of being here is that we have to be honest with each other. I want to make sure that you're being honest, and it's okay if you haven't in the past. It's always important to own up when it's time. So you're in here now. Do you have anything you'd like to tell us?
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make like a just a little luck check for him, like to ask the oracle. When in doubt, I ask the oracle. So I'm gonna ask the oracle and see how the kid reacts. So okay, I feel like he wants to talk and he will, but there's a but. So he comes far as like I'm sorry, Mr. Rat. I guess that's why I've been saying sorry all that long. It's not my fault per se that like things were stolen, because I didn't stole anything. I just watched, but it's just that I told someone and I didn't know, but they were talking with the syndicate, and then the syndicate got aware of this, and then somehow the information got leaked from.
Who'd you tell? All right, this is the first step. you just been watching. We about to do some things, and when you get into the doing part of the business, loose lips, they don't just sink ships. They end up with folks dead.
I know. It's just I thought I could trust Mickey. I didn't know well, maybe we shouldn't use him inside this whole effort because I think he's playing 2 cards, but he's one of my best friends, so I thought I could speak to him, but
Here's the investigate roll.
I'm glad you came
Can
clean.
Mo's gearhead be on this? Yeah.
Okay, so what kind of information are you looking for?
Well, I was looking at the sheet. Maybe Armanda is better at a persuade roll, but I think my investigate would be to he sounds like he's telling us the truth. I would look at him. I would look at his shoes. I would try to figure out from his appearance what else is true, if that makes sense.
Can I ask for one more thing, just suggestion? You might be able to know things about Mickey too. You might be able to be oh, I know Mickey's family, or oh yeah, I know that kid. Maybe blah 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 is going on with him.
And for me, I'm just let's use the mechanics and make a roll. Let's figure out. So who should do something
anyway?
So
who should do something?
What we are trying to find out is what's happening with Mickey. Okay, we know Mickey. We know that he was a regular guy in our side, and it's not. That's what we know.
Well, he's Moke's buddy, so
yeah. How old
I think he's a kid. Yeah.
Because I want to know beforehand on how to act according. I mean, I don't want to overstep any kid stuff, So maybe a teenager, 15 years old, something like that.
Yeah, and I like Michael's idea of Mickey coming from a different neighborhood.
Maybe.
Right, because it's basically a bunch of neighborhoods coming up together, and maybe he's from a different one. But
okay.
I like the idea of him being a teenager.
Perfect. I'm going to open a roll. 2d6 is what I have to roll.
Right. So the way that rolls work in this game is that you roll a number of d6s in the pool and take the highest result, but you roll against the risk, which in this case is me. So you don't roll against me. I am basically playing the risk. So if there's no risk, we don't really roll. But if there's one, then we need to define what the risks are. So in this case, I'd be interested to know, because you're currently in a very secure location. So there, in terms of risks, I don't see anything immediately coming after you. But what kind of risks do you think could happen in trying to get more information from Moki about his friend?
I don't. To be honest, I don't think that we should get the information from the kid, but maybe just track down the responsible guy for this. This kid has been helping us, and he act upon he do something wrong, but it's a kid,
Yeah. Rat's going to be reassuring right now. I think this is the moment to be this kid came clean. He's part of the posse now. You just learned something. Rat's going to be all right, so you know better now, and that means we can trust you. You're in. Remember, from now on, if it ain't one of the faces you see in this room, don't say nothing about what's said in this room. That goes with family too. Can we trust you on that?
Yeah. I'm very, very sorry. It won't happen again.
Spits in his hand and offers the hand.
He awkwardly spits as well, and it's not as much of the spit of there's just
Yeah, mine's green. It's got all the herbal juices, the extracts.
Right.
I smell
So,
deliciously herbal and chemically. Very vinegar. All right, so now
Well,
we can do the
So,
Yeah.
Moki, I just like get near him and put a hand on his shoulder, like strictly, like
right.
I'm an authority over you, but everything's fine. In, like in the middle of that, And where does Mickey live?
Well,
Everything's going to be fine. We just want to know what people knows about what we are doing, to keep doing it, because you know that what we do is fine, don't you?
yeah, definitely.
Don't you?
Terrible.
Actually,
Perfect.
he used to live here in Foothill Lane, but his family just moved to a nicer district, like where there's like all the markets and
Oh.
everything. Like it's called Dargan Hollow. So like they just moved there. So maybe I can show you where it is.
No problem. We can find him. You don't need to do anything else.
Intimidating. No worries. We can
But
find
you can
him.
get me some matches and some gasoline. No, just joking.
Oh
No.
man.
But no worries. Everything's going to be fine. We just want to check out with him what his other companies and buddies are, and to be safe on what you can trust or not trust this person. Like
Right.
for you to be safe as well.
Yeah. Okay.
One of
sure.
us, and we take care of you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Wow, I just don't know what to say. I was so afraid. I was like just coming up here and telling you like this. That's a lot.
When he says that, Rat looks at him and he goes, "That's the natural state, fear. It ain't wrong, and it'll save you. But you got to find somebody you can trust." And then he claps him on the back and he says, "All right, y'all, let's figure out next steps."
Armando, were you going to go?
I think that I should track down the paper. Like I can go do whatever everyone feels like we should, but maybe the paper is something that I can track down.
So I have a tracking skill.
Okay.
You can also team up, right? Like we can like
Yeah,
split
we can
into
do
multiple
that.
scenes, right?
How you feeling, Mo?
I am feeling like I want to get the paper. So I'm almost thinking that as this feels very entertaining. We send Rat and Boots to go talk to Mickey, and me and Carrot go find and retrieve the paper.
I'm gonna swap that for only one reason. If you need to get in and out, you need Rat. Rat doesn't want to talk to people. Rat's actually not very good at it.
My skill, it's skill ability. It's like I can find a way out of everywhere that I know the place. So that's
it sounds like
then maybe the three of us go get the paper, and Boots go get info.
Boots flies solo.
We can grab the
you don't
paper,
trust me enough
and then we can figure out we can go as a group. We can go as a group and grab the paper, figure out the paper, and then
here's my thought. Hold on. If we go and grab the paper, they know we're coming. They know we were going to sabo it. They know we were coming for it. So that means they know that we're going to try for it again, which means we're walking into something that is going to be very bad for us. We don't know how much they know about us. Frankly, we might need to start worrying about this operation here. Like they could be deploying someone right now.
We also should maybe an idea. Maybe we can just look up for other paper, like track down some other place to get paper and forget about it to be on the safe side.
I wonder if
we all know how the
Mickey...
ministry gets when they get rowdy. So maybe we can just try to solve that problem from another.
I wonder
from
if
another
Mickey,
place.
since we do know that Mickey is playing both sides, could gather some information for us on another paper shipment.
Dude, let's send
Let's send
Moke
Mickey.
to go
Oh,
plant.
that too.
Let's get Moke to tell him something new.
Okay.
That's the perfect hookup, right? Like he already got a heads up from Moke last time. Why not?
Yeah.
Just make sure Moke knows what's up and be like, yeah, all we need you to do is go tell this kid that this is going to happen. Won't hurt the kid, but it'll set the ministry up.
Okay, so I think this is where we're gonna get some sort of like persuasion role, right? Like to try to like hype up the kid so that he feels confident and not like to basically like talk to him about the good points, not necessarily scare him off, but like yeah, like kind of like pep talk. We need like a pep talk montage or something. But there's somebody who feels comfortable doing such role.
I think that's my area of expertise.
Perfect. So the way that
Not for
skills
real, but
check-
it's good. So just to be clear, the plan is to send Mickey to plant information. Send Moki. They are too similar, Moki and Mickey. Moki, send Moki to plant information to Mickey, and what we will do with in the place that the information is planted. Like, are we going to do some fire? No. Are we going to do something about it? I mean,
I think
I could set a trap.
Sorry?
I could set a trap. So while Moke is talking with Mickey, there's a place that we're hoping the ministry to show up at, I assume. That's kind of what we're doing. And then I can set a trap to ensnare.
Okay.
Are we trying to get paper, or are we trying to get additional paper?
That was why we are doing this exactly. Like, what's the objective? What we want to obtain from
put the newspaper out. The goal is to put the newspaper out.
Right, but convincing Mickey to convince the.
We have there's another shipment, and we have this information. I got lost with that.
So perhaps there is a new shipment, but maybe you can change. Like perhaps there's a new shipment that's coming in, and you give them false information and try to like basically kill two birds with one stone. Where you get the shipment, and you also find out who are the people who are like doing playing both sides.
Cool.
We can also
That's just a suggestion.
create
and I can actually
that
set
we
up
already have other paper.
So
the ministry tries to get it. That could work.
I was thinking about planning the rumor that we're coming for the paper where it's stored now, so they get ready for us, and they maybe even move it just to be on the safe side. But we watch them and we see where they move it to, and then we hit whoever's moving the paper instead of going to the warehouse.
So the idea
they're
is
prepared at the warehouse, but they do a little like, okay, we're gonna take the paper somewhere else because, and then we hit them moving it. Because I'm assuming if we say we have a second ship, like if there's another place we can get paper from, this sort of storyline kind of dies. Because we're like, oh yeah, never mind, we got something else, which would be fine if we want to go that direction. But it seems like it's leaving some loose ends, I guess.
So it's coming up. We want Mickey to plant the Moki to plant the information to Mickey that we're going to get the paper from the warehouse where it's stored.
Yeah, and we're going hard.
They move the paper and we track down the paper again.
We're coming in hot. We're gonna burn things down. You know they like to burn things. They're gonna ruin all. They're gonna ruin everything. It's gonna be a huge black eye for the ministry. Just move the paper so we don't lose on it and be ready to kill them all. Right?
Perfect.
Like
okay. So do I have to roll or something to convince Moki that this is a good idea?
I think it's more like coaching him though. Coach him on how to say it. Because he's so nervous, he'll blow it, right? Like he gets nervous talking to us. Like he's gonna go up to his buddy Moki and be like, "There's an attack." You know, and like his buddy's gonna be like, no.
No. I think it's like a good persuasion. It's a persuasion that like he can do it, and he's got enough information to sell it. So
Bucking
I
him
think
up.
I think the
So-
risk here would be like that it'd be too stressed out. The stress would just be too much, right? So
Yeah. So I think that Moki, I think that you should keep this simple. Basic information
Mm-hmm.
that it can be interpreted in any other way than we mean to. Yes, you have to. I'm not sure how this information flow goes with Moki, how you start a conversation about this, but you have done it before. You can do it again. You know, like just, oh, I have to go and scout this area, the area where they move the paper, so I can check out and we can get the paper back. Something like, you don't know what Mickey is doing.
Maybe even like, you should come watch with me. It's gonna be crazy. I heard they're gonna do all sorts of like, there's gonna be explosions. You should see
They
this.
were
Like,
preparing
come on, let's
guns
go watch.
and
It's gonna be
Molotovs.
crazy.
Like, I always wanted to watch fireworks, and this is the nearest I'll be ever. Something
good.
like that could work
There
too.
it is.
But just don't give up any information. Don't say that you've seen us. Don't mention us in any other way that you know that we are going to. You hear around the place where you live that this is going to happen.
Mhm.
You know, like the information doesn't come from us, and it's like a rumor, something vague. So, are you going to be able to do this? How do you feel about this?
okay, and now this is where we're going to roll. So you start with 1d6 by default. Okay. You can add another d6 if you are skilled or knowledgeable in what you're trying to attempt, which I think you are.
You think I am? Okay.
Well,
So
you
that
had
would be-
you had a persuade skill, no?
Oh yeah. It's persuade,
Right.
and yeah, and the other one that it's the bad one. I'm not sure.
Perfect.
I always forget.
then normally-
deceive.
Is
the other
this
one.
also deceive?
No, I don't think so. But I mean, Moki is the one that it's going to be deceiving. I'm
But
persuading
you're coaching
to
him
do
on
it.
how to tell the lie, right?
Yeah, but skills don't stack up. Like if one of them applies, there's a d6 on top of it. So you're
Well,
currently at like
It's
1d6.
2d6.
2d6, and then you roll and you take the IS. On my end, I'm gonna say that the rest is that like he's too stressed or something. He may be like he might forget some information, or he may be discovered, like, or he might not. Maybe he's not gonna get Mickey's interest high enough. So what I'm
Okay.
doing is going to say that the risk is it's a daring action, so single d6 for me. So you roll against the risk, and we compare results.
Okay, roll first, or I roll first, or
Oh, we
we
can
both?
roll at the same time. Yeah, it's all good.
Okay, I roll 2d6 just to be clear.
You roll 2d6 and take the highest.
4.
4. Okay. I had a 6.
Oh, God. Of course.
So I think like you say all this information. I think it's all. I don't think that it's not because he doesn't want to do it. I think he's still stressed about like everything that's happening. He feels so bad and he doesn't want to screw it up. And he's like, I think he's forgetting some information and forgetting some details. So I think he's like, okay, yes, fireworks. Yeah, I can I can tell him that there's gonna be fireworks and it's gonna be cool. Sure, yeah, I can do this. No problem, Boots.
Probably feeling guilty about selling out his friend too. Like he might be upset about his friend, but he also might, like set him up with the syndicate.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. So like you feel like he's not convinced. You don't feel necessarily comfortable in what he's
Well-
like replying back.
Okay, I think that this is a no-go plan, to be honest. We should find another way to do this. I think maybe
Before you say this, I guess like Mickey leaves, not Mickey, sorry, Moki leaves the room. He's like, yeah, I can go in and talk. So he leaves, and you're left alone, like in the garbage truck of an HQ that you have, and like the sun is we've just
oops.
Michael. Gonna wait for him to come back, but yeah, like I think like right now the sun is like currently like setting up, and like I guess there must be some kind of smell that like gets up from all the trash and junk that is inside the junkyard, and as the sun moves up in the sky, the smell becomes stronger and stronger, and eventually it's not necessarily a good place to be in, especially at noon, even if there's like a lot of smog and mist. So yeah, like you're left alone within this HU. Well, not alone, you're all together. The kid is left, and yeah, like what do you want to do? Do you want to get like try to get some pepper some like elsewhere, or trying to like trick Mickey some other way?
I think
I
that
almost want to. Oh, I almost want to say Andy should go. I'm sorry, Carrot should go behind Moke and figure out if it worked or not. Because you may not, Boots might not be confident, but if we know that Moke is going to Mickey, at least we still get a line on Mickey, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'll use my. Yeah, so I'm gonna basically track him from a distance. Welcome back. You didn't miss anything. No worries.
Cool. I had to switch to my hotspot because it was being really laggy. So
Cool. So yeah, I'm gonna like from a distance, just kind of be like, "Hey guys, I'm just gonna go make sure that this is actually gonna work." And yeah, I'm gonna basically try to keep track of him while staying out of sight, so he doesn't know that he's being followed. I mean, he's not a professional, but
at the very least, if you follow him, he might find out who the syndicate hookup is. Yeah. Well, no, find out Mickey and then see who Mickey goes to.
Yeah. So that's okay. Yeah. So actually, that's like the bigger picture of what it is that I'm trying to accomplish. Is like, I want to see if Moki works as planned, but I'm also going to basically stake out the house and track who's coming in, where does Mickey go? You know, can I try to identify who the ultimate contact is? Mickey's a middleman or a middle person, not the end, contact. So that's what I'm going to be trying to figure out as well.
Okay, that's good. Are you going with anybody else within the team, or it's more of like a solo operation? Two people.
Would you like Michael? Would you like to?
Rat's good at getting Rat get through the city real nice through the sewers. So if you ever need an exit, Rat's your guy. So
all right,
good idea for us to go together. You can do the tracking. Right. I'll do the getting the heck out of there if we need it.
Okay, cool. So I'll take lead on the tracking up to, and then Rat, you'll take over if we need to get the heck out. All right. What do I need? So would this be a 2d6 roll?
I feel like you're skilled or knowledgeable, so yeah, definitely. So
tracking, yeah.
I think the risk here would be that like either they realize where you are, and maybe they try to like evade you or something if they see that like you're following them. How do you follow them exactly? Like I guess you're leaving your HQ which leaves like Boots and Glow. And we're gonna come back to y'all. But yeah, like you're leaving with Rat. How do you track someone? Do you go through the sewers? Do you go like on top of buildings, or do you try to like blend in with the crowds?
I feel like Rat's with me.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I've tried to blend in with the crowd, but
I can do.
If the crowd
you'd be surprised.
Rats, yeah, I'm not sure.
You'd be surprised.
That's true.
Rat seems to blend in everywhere. He looks like every bum
Yeah.
you've ever seen. So he's real
I
at home in
would-
the city.
Yeah, so it would be more try to blend into the crowd, keep a distance, like just always. I'm always just coming around the corner so I can see which corner they went around,
Are you trained
kind
in
of thing,
sneak?
right? Like, I'm just it's I guess more tracking.
Because I'm
from a
trained in
distance?
sneak.
Okay,
So,
yeah, I'm
so I think
specifically
between the two
tracking.
of us, there might be a role for each of us. You can do the tracking, and I can be the one who says, or down here, or round
Help
that
out.
corner, or ooh, perfect. I'll help you out with the sneaking.
Okay.
Or yeah, that's perfect.
Reduce the cost of a check. Another player carries that.
How's that work?
You share the same risks as them. This means that both characters could end up in hindrances. Something can go wrong for the whole group. So does he just roll dice as? How does that work? How does help out work?
Right. So there are two things to basically calculate like the effect and the strength of consequences in the game. There are two things. There's the impact and the cost, and that's one of my favorite thing about this game is that when you make a roll, instead of having to determine how strong is going to be the impact or how harsh is going to be the consequence, you simply look at the number of dice that each person has rolled. So if a player is making like a check, to know how strong that check is, you just look at the number of dice. If it's like one dice, it's like one impact, two dice, two impact, or three dice, three impact. And it's the same thing for the GM. So when the game moderators represents the risk and makes a roll and the roll doesn't go well, if the GM has rolled one die, it's like one cost. The cost is of one, the cost is of two if it's two dice, and three if it's three dice. So when you actually help out, you don't improve the odds, you change the impact automatically. So it's like if you had rolled one more die, but only if you succeed. Right? Right? So like the impact is going to be bigger, but you don't change the odds.
But you don't
the
pay
odds are...
you don't pay a higher cost if you fail.
Right. You can also reduce the cost. Those are the two options when you help out. You can either say, well, if you fail, you're gonna fail less harshly, but if you succeed, or if you succeed, you're going to succeed at and it's going to be even better because I helped you out.
Reduce cost because right now this is not there's no big win to be had here. I just want to make sure we don't get caught by anybody out after curfew or whatnot. I don't want us to come to the attention of the syndicate.
Okay.
Any more so than we usually are, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to roll my 2 dice. Michael's help out.
Yep. What do I do? Do I roll anything?
You've got a 4. So the risk was of 2. So it's a success. So 2 things are happening. First up, there's a mechanic in the game that's called hopes. And we have the group stream and there's hope. Oh, wow. What a banger. So hopes, you've just generated hope because you've succeeded on a check. You have now 1 hope added to your character sheet. You can spend that hope to add another die when you want to. So a little bit like momentum in charge, actually.
That's
so
a group thing or a character thing?
Character thing.
Okay.
So it's not one big hope pool. It's like each character has like hope, and then they can.
Do I get a hope, or does just Carrot get a hope?
Only Carrot would get a hope.
Because it's his role. Yep.
Right, but because of you, I think that okay, here's the way I see it. Carrot, you mentioned that you were going through the crowd, and even though perhaps you would have guessed that with Rat, the crowd would have turned to you or something. Well, not at all. Rat is a freaking expert in this, and he knows how to not be seen. So I think there's been a couple of scenarios, the 2 kids meet up, and actually when you see Mickey for the first time, you realize maybe he's not that kid. He's pretty old. There's beard, and he's all tall, and he's maybe a bunch of people assume he's a teenager, but if he's a teenager, he's about to get to work, or he's okay. So he's pretty old, and
Moki looks up to.
Yeah, I think so. I think they've known each other for a while, but he's still very playable. He acts a bit like a kid, even though he's all tall and skinny and has a bit of beard. So when Moki shows up, you see a change in his posture. There's I'll say like you're currently like one of the city's big markets, right? So there's a bunch of like very fresh food that's like laid down on the floor. It's not like in the poorer district. It's like a little bit more fancy over there, and there's like a bunch of spices as well. Like the air is very fresh and very different from like the smoky, suit breathing that you were doing in the scrapyard. And when Moki shows up, when Moke shows up, Mickey is like, "Oh, I have this thing I really wanted to show you." And then like he has like a little like a toy, but the toy is like imbued with a rune, and it makes like little sparks and whatnot. Like
Oh
it's
my
like
gosh. Okay.
it's like little magic made by a marker, or like probably not too expensive. He's like, "Hey, look at this," and it makes like little fancy like blue and purple sparks, and they're all like having fun. So they just like run through the crowd, and at multiple points during that run, they turn back because they're all playing and they want to see each other and whatever. And at multiple points, they could have seen you, but they don't, because at every single time, Rat is able to just find the perfect hiding spot so that the kids never see you.
I keep tucking you behind trash bins. It's all these places you wouldn't have walked, and you were like, "Oh yeah, no, they're gonna spot Rat," and Rat's like, "Back here, yep, and
Back
down,
here.
and
Wow.
up, round that corner."
This is your new hat, and it's a banana peel.
Yes.
Well, actually, this is something you notice is that Rat is actually pilfering trash. You said there's a whole bunch of fresh food. That just makes trash is better. Better class of trash. Richer people get, the worse they get at recycling. It's just a shame. So Rat's been tucking things left and right into his coat pockets. Yeah, there's been a lot of like.
Is there did Moki show up? Did it seem like Moki showed up to Mickey's house or his home?
Yeah, I think he does. Eventually, you arrive to like a house, and the house is like it's still like a very crowded district. The houses are all like lined up beside one another, and there's like this three apartments buildings, and at some point they just like enter through this apartment, and you almost lose them, but because of your great tracking skills, you're able to like find like a place where you can like, okay, we can climb up there and probably watch them from like the top of this building or something, right?
Yeah.
So you arrive and you're able to watch them, and you're not too far, like probably like the building is just on like in front of it. And through the windows, the curtains are all open. You see like Mickey and Moke like get inside this apartment, and then you see like this big tall guy that's just like, he hugs like Mickey, and he says hi to Moke. Hey, like you see them all friendly and whatever. He pulls something from like a cupboard and gives them like a bit of food or whatever. He's all not dirty, like he's like not taking care of himself, but he's very, very covered in dust. Like even like you can see it from your good eyes that like even the handle on the door outside of the apartment of the apartment building is all covered in like the materials probably coming from the mines. You see this as like, okay, this guy's doing handy work somewhere or something, and he's like staining everything he touches.
So he seems out of place to the otherwise fairly clean surroundings.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. So yeah, I definitely want to stake out and see, as part of this, like, identified the house. Now I want to stake it out and see if we can discover who Mickey is passing information to.
As you're doing this, Rat is leaning on the wall behind you, eating some of the trash that he's managed to scavenge. He's offered a few bits, and when you're like, we're like scavenge, you're like, okay, I want to stake this out. He goes, "You won't get inside? I reckon I could get us inside. They always have the fancy toilets in these big upscale jobs."
Oh gosh, I don't. What would we be trying to do inside? I want to see who they. I guess overhear them.
Well, depending on if anybody's inside the domicile at the time of entry, you can always find out some interesting things. You look around.
Fair enough.
And he goes,
but you're the one who's good looking. You let me know when we need to be doing something.
He leans back and munches a little, hands you another piece of whatever it is he's eating on.
It's an interesting. You know what? Let's take some risks. Sure, if you can get us in, let's see what we can find.
Let's go.
Maybe we can get some more timely information than sitting out here for the next 24 hours waiting for somebody to do something.
Is it toilet time? Is it
Toilet time?
Okay. Well, I figure this is a good break because I feel like Boots and Glow need to get themselves up to a cliff to jump off so we can all jump together.
Perfect.
Perfect. Yeah, I was about to jump, so yeah, that's a good idea. We can take a 5 minutes break and come back right after.
Awesome.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
All right.
All right, and we are back. Cool. Everybody's mic's working. Everything's good.
Yep,
Let's
I think
go.
things are good.
Amazing. Okay, so we had Carrot and Rat on the top of a building watching this relatively nice apartment in a nice district where we had like two kids like enjoying some food with like it seems to be like a Mickey's dad, and you were planning on trying to like go inside this apartment just so that I understand properly everything. My idea was your plan to go in when they're all out. Like, were you waiting for them to leave the apartment? We're trying to burst in. Like, I'm just trying to wrap my head around everything.
Oh, that's Rat's plan. Rat, how do we do this?
Rat's like,
Well, there's a number of different ways that things need to be taken out of a domicile. Various waste products, what they like to call trash. I like to call it, useful materials.
Yes.
Being not a wasteful person, it has behooved me to learn the ins and outs of such domiciles, and I believe that I could use one of those sewer ins to take us both inside the building. Now, once there, I cannot guarantee that we can locate the most important materials inside of said building. That'll be up to you. I trust your eyes
All right.
better than I trust my nose.
gives you a nod.
Sounds good. Perfect.
Okay, great.
So
you're-
he's gonna find a sewer in, and he's gonna look for the main tunnel, and then he's gonna figure out and make his way up. This is a sneak roll to get inside.
Okay, perfect. So you start with 1d6. If you're skilled or knowledgeable, you add another. If you've got you can add. You have perfect. So
And I also
what do you
have
think
that thing where I can navigate. I get -1 on checks to navigate in the city, and I asked you before if that could count for sewers, because that's Rat's thing.
Yeah. Because that's your ability. City's your playground, right?
Yeah, see, no, the sewers are my playground, but yes.
The sewers are your playground, where you get -1 cost on checks. Where
What does that mean? -1 cost.
Right. So if your skill, well, if your check doesn't work out, there's a consequence. But since the cost is lowered, so again, impact and cost don't affect the odds, but it affects the end result. So
Gotcha.
your skills and knowledge affect how success affects the odds, but then the impact and the cost modifiers basically affect like the things that happen afterwards.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm rolling 2d6, yeah, because I'm skilled?
Right.
Okay. Here we go. Ooh, I got a 5.
You got a 5. The risk
did.
was 3, so you beat the risk. You get 1 hope, and there's a success. So, like, you handle this situation like a pro. Describe to everyone what that looks like.
Well, it involves a lot of like poking my head around corners and sniffing one direction, sniffing different ins and outs, and then being like,
Yep, definitely some very rarefied meats being eaten here.
and then going down different tunnels. Clearly detecting them by the nature of their diet. Eventually, this leads to a sewer main which leads up, and there's a door. Clearly, they have like underneath the buildings, they have like massive sewer outs, but they have like places where they get access for the workers.
Right.
And if you can open that up, you can get into the basement of the house. So we go up through a couple of tubes and beside a couple of sewage pipes and end up in the basement.
Perfect. So, and I guess, Carrot, you're following the Rat through all of this, right? Like,
Yes, yeah.
through all
I'm
those
basically
sewers.
just like hand on the back, being like, I don't know what I'm doing. This is not my environment.
Yeah, definitely. And then you arrive inside this this basement, which is full of like machines to, like, for example, to have like hot water, because they have hot water inside this this apartment. There's like yeah, definitely. So you arrive in the building, and then you nobody's there. But at some point, you hear some people walking like upstairs, and you feel like there's like some sort of like cleaning room, like general cleaning room for the apartment where like people go there and like wash their clothes or whatever. So you have the impression that like if you walk the stairs up, there's going to be a room and there's some people who are currently right there. So you were able to sneak in, but also get like a pretty good information as to who are close to you currently in your current position. And then we're gonna cut in. Then we're gonna go and see Glow and Boots. So
Yeah.
what are you two doing? How like what's your plan with this whole paper situation? Basically, because we've got some information that we need to like propagate through the city, and now we don't have papers, and like we need paper for that press.
Yeah. I think that we should try to find where the paper is, because
Right.
we don't this paper, and if not any paper, but well, we know that this paper exists. No, should
Yeah.
that be okay, or do we
Yep.
want to check out for another place?
No, I think that makes sense. I think you well, okay. So where? So your question is
If
like, where is the paper? Like
Yeah, I
if the
think that
location
that's
is
what
known.
we don't know exactly where the paper is. I assume that we can, after some time being doing this stuff, we might know certain safe houses or safe places to store stuff and that kind of thing. Maybe we can check out those or something like
Yeah, or
that.
you could ask one of your ministry friends.
Yeah, too. That too. We can uh, check out any source for that.
Okay, and Boots, how are you known within the ministry? Like, are you just friends with them, or do you work there?
I used to work there.
You used to
That
work
that
there.
was my background.
Right.
I used to work there, and but like maybe for a lot of stuff that I've seen, I decided that that was not for me, and I ran away with some information or stuff like that. Uh, but well, you always keep some. I mean, Moki was friend with Miki. I could have some friends too, you know.
Right.
You know some people who know some people.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So there's this so I wrote the dang game, but I can't remember like the things that are in it. So it's perfect. I once saw John Arbor on Twitter said that's why we wrote it down. That's why we write it down is because we can't remember anything. Um, but there's give me a second. All right, so there's this kind of like neutral territory inside the Riverbank district. So that's the port district. There's like
Mm-hmm.
this neutral territory called the Last Call, which is like this pub, but the pub is within an always docked boat. So the boat never leaves port. So like there's now like a bar inside of it, and usually any people from within the city is welcome there, and nobody asks too many questions. So perhaps like I'm trying to like test the waters here, but like perhaps this is where you meet your friend from the ministry.
Mm.
Oh yeah, that could be
Or
a
if you have
place
any
to
addition,
go.
if you
No,
have
no,
another idea, I'm down for it.
no. It sounds like a good place to just to. I'll drop down the signal. I will put the red scarf in a certain place, and I'll meet
Oh,
someone. I'm not sure what I can.
I love
I
Hey,
that.
can't.
you
I
know where
just
people drink.
can't think. Sorry.
Maybe you know where people drink for lunch, and you know where they drink after work.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
useful too. But maybe I don't want the other guys that work in the ministry to know that that person is in contact with me. uh, so maybe we have a code. I just can't think of Battlestar Galactica, with the dish of the dog that you put on the other side, so there's the information and things like that. But well,
Ah, I feel like you need a public
Geika
event.
used to pass information to the human side
Mm.
with a dog bowl that he just turned it around so people knew that there was some information out there. But yeah, well, we can have a code or something. I mean, I'm not sure how what
I
degree
think
of
the key.
technology people manage. Like, do we have
Hmm.
a way to communicate that it's encrypted or something like that? I'm not sure.
I
So
like the
I
idea of
would
a code.
trust like a flower in a place or something like that. Like
Okay.
code. I'll put
Okay,
that,
so
and we'll find each other in this the last call. You said that it was
the last call, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so
So that's
let's
it.
jump there. Like you're currently like sitting at the last call. What are you two drinking? Are you drinking anything?
Um, some sort
I'm
of
enjoying the clean water.
yeah, yeah. I was going to say that something like mineral
Boiled
water
right.
or something from a far, far away place that we can't get anywhere else.
Perfect.
Doesn't
Okay.
have the greenish aftertaste, and you don't have to chew.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
100% liquid.
Like I keep making filters, but like I never quite get that taste out.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you see this like the bar's pretty calm like tonight. Like there's some usuals or like sitting at their like usual spots and whatever. There's like you hear some talk about like smuggling in the corner of the bar. Like some guy was like, yeah, I can carry that out. No worries. Like you just need to pay me double. And then the conversation like continues to fuzz. And then at some point you see like a woman who comes in, and she has like the flower in her hand, and she's got like two dogs on the other who are just walking directly within the pub, and they're like two like like let's say like a German Shepherd and like Australian Shepherds, like for no reason. She's got
Oh,
two dogs, and they're very very well behaved, and like I don't think they even have leashes. They're just like following her, and she sits at your table, which currently only like has two nice glasses of mineral water sitting on them. The two dogs sit beside her, and she takes the flower and just drops it like calmly on the table and looks at you two. Does she know you, Glow? Do you know this person?
Um, I am kind of sticking around just in case anything goes south, but I'm not comfortable here, and I will
Right.
absolutely wave boots off to go do her thing.
Okay. Um, I don't have the right words in my head right now, but like I see her as being some sort of like assistant to one of the ministers. I see her position to be like quite high within the ministry, but she's not a minister herself. Tell
yeah.
me if that
No,
works out,
sounds
Armando.
perfect. That's where the information pass by. It's
Right.
it's always that kind of people, the ones that
The ones who make it happen.
leak. Yeah.
Yeah. So she sits down and drops the flower, makes a hand to the bartender to come eventually at the table. He's currently busy. He's like serving some other folks over there. She sits down and see, hey Boots. So seems received your flower. You wanted to talk?
Oh, yeah. I need some favor. Do you want to drink something?
Yeah, I'm thirsty actually. Like the
I'll
walk
go
was.
get. I'll go get it. No, what do you want?
Oh, well, any kind of scotch actually would be great. Well, equivalent of scotch in this world. So,
Well, okay. I go
strong liquor.
and okay. I go there and I'll bring her the equivalent to the Macallan 18. I'm not sure what would be in this world. Something like that. Like you have to
Punchy,
keep the
smooth,
people
oaky.
happy. If this is what you want, I'll give you more.
Oh wow, this is great. She's definitely happy with this. She takes like a first sip, and then she looks at your glass of water. She's like, can I take a couple of like? And then
Yeah.
she just like she takes the glass, adds a couple of like droplets of water, and then she looks at you two. She's like, so you said you wanted a favor? What can I do? Am I not doing enough? I'm risking a lot just by like
No,
talking with.
I totally know that all the things that you're doing for us, and I'm super thankful of all this. But maybe you have heard today that there was a problem with the paper that we were counting. I assume that this person knows everything, and probably is a person that has passed me the information.
Right.
So, you know that that didn't work out for us.
Yeah, I heard through the branches. I mean, like, I mean, the ministry were pretty happy about this. To be quite frank, like they've been like they saw this almost as a celebration, like a big setback for y'all.
Well, we need to know where the paper is, actually. That's what I need, the favor I need to ask from you. If you have any information, it would be awesome for us.
About where they took the paper.
Sorry?
About where they took the paper. I mean,
Yeah.
let me think. So the thing is, like, I work in the Ministry of Agriculture, right? So like in terms of like information,
Well, paper
I
comes from trees.
she takes a sip and she's okay.
Sorry.
Armando's throwing it down.
It was so easy. Sorry.
Okay, that's
Beautiful.
fair. That's fair.
Sorry. Sorry.
No, that was great. You're like,
Perfect
you know, we
line.
farm paper, right? It grows on trees.
But maybe
I'm
we're
not
onto
sure if you know this because not a lot of people know.
it's a new process.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I give just joking. Yeah, no worries. Okay, yeah, but whatever you have information about that can be of use for us, or maybe another place to get paper, or another lead, or whatever,
I mean,
that would help us a lot.
you're probably not wrong. I mean, like, I didn't get any information as to where they would have like. People were happy about the paper. Nobody talked about where it was stored or whatever. Most of this information is like confidential. But the thing is, maybe you're onto something. Maybe it is my department who's taking care of it, and I'm just not being made aware of because it's higher than my like personal paycheck. Maybe it's the minister who's doing something. So if what I can do is try to like go and see if like any of my warehouses, the warehouses used by my part of the ministry, have been requisitioned for anything, right? Like if there's something that's been striked off and it's supposed to contain, for example, I don't know, some sort of spices or some sort of food or whatever, grain. But then if it's been striked off from the records, maybe there's a hint, so I can try to find anything that mismatches and
That
come
sounds
back.
amazing. Can you do this without being tracked? Like no one's going to pin down you down or something for this.
But
I don't want anything to happen to you.
yeah, I think you're gonna have to give me a couple of days for this. I don't think I can do that on such short-term notice without being noticed. So I'll drop some information to like the usual spot, but you're gonna have to give me a little while.
How much? How much time? More or less.
I mean, maybe 2 days, two minimum.
Oh, well, if that's what it takes, it's fine. I think if it can be
It-
done faster, that would be amazing. You can signal me or anything, but just be safe, you know?
Well, I don't want to tell you how to do your job, but it can always be faster if, like, I mean, I don't have the information in my office, but the Minister of Agriculture probably does. I mean, if you can find a way to, like, let me into this office and, like, have them not be there, that could speed things up, but, I mean, higher risks.
Sorry, parent, like off character. Can I do that? Yeah,
you can do
I
whatever.
can,
Yeah,
but because I know that I can get out, but I'm not sure if it works both ways.
You know
Like,
what
can I
Rat
get
always
her in?
says? Rat always says everybody poops. There's a way to get in if there's a way to get the waste out.
she looks at you and she's like, well, it's not like it's the first time you'd enter the ministry.
Yeah, okay. Well, okay, so we can just thinking. So I could like disguise or something, and like I work on the post office. I'm not sure what to do, like something like that, and or maybe some maintenance stuff or something like that, and we have to check the air conditioner. I'm not sure what kind of things are on
Maintenance is up my alley.
Yep.
So
Now I like this.
We can do that. I think. Can we? Yeah.
So
we can do that.
do we know what time he leaves before curfew?
I mean,
I'm not sure how this girl is called, but okay.
Yeah, we can give her a name. Rose. Okay, I like Rose.
Yeah. I was thinking about the flower. So
that's good. That's perfect.
So Rose, at what time does the minister leave his office?
I mean, he usually works out pretty late, but I'd say like a little bit after dinner, and I guess I'd say it's probably like 3 o'clock now during the day. So like a bit after dinner, like he leaves the ministry.
Okay, so at 8. I'm not sure at what time they have the. Well, we here in Argentina we have dinner around 10 p.m. So it's.
Oh wow. Yeah, I guess that's relative, right? Because
I've been asleep for
the joys
an
of
hour.
siesta. The joys of siesta.
Yeah.
So let's plan on going in to fix some stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We have to arrange everything.
And Rose can get you in, or do you have a way in?
I can get us in and out.
Okay.
Supposedly.
Let's do it.
That's what I do.
Like that.
That's my
attitude.
So Rose is working late tonight.
Yeah, Rose is going to be working late, and she'll get the information. We have to get her into the office, and she'll get the information. That's how this would work.
Yeah, and then if something comes up, I can just say that like the door was left open, and I just had to pick up some papers for like some dossier I'm currently working on. So like I have a pretty good relationship with the minister, so it should be okay. He's trusting me, and I don't think he's going to see this as like a big boundary like break in.
Okay. Well, we do that.
Okay.
Do we agree on that?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. This flower actually smells very nice, so I'm gonna keep it. She takes it, she tucks her in back into the short and or shirt, sorry, and then the two dogs, as she like pulls the flower back in, the two dogs like, oh, that smells nice, and then they just like stand up, and she's like, okay, well, talk to you later, and wishing you best of lucks.
See you later. Take care.
And now I'm gonna do one of my favorite thing in the world. Let's skip all the boring walking part up to the ministry and put you let's fast forward right in front of this humongous building. Like it is gigantic. There are a lot of automated patrols like everywhere that are just like making sure that everything works like clockwork. And there are maintenance people coming in and out of certain like doors. There's a bunch of like people dressing up real nice that are walking the gigantic stairs, and like the way their stairs are made, it's like you need to make 3 steps on a stair to actually go to the next one. The stairs are like super, super long, and they seem to stretch on for miles. Well, not that much. I'm exaggerating, but you see the idea. And yeah, like oh yeah, go ahead, Mo.
Is it appropriate for me to break the air conditioning unit?
How would you do that? And yes.
I would use Tinker so that they need maintenance.
Okay, so I'm not sure about how they have, if they would have air conditioning, but I mean, why not at that point? There's magic for cold air. Why, like, or at least filtered air, right? Like the maybe
Yeah.
like the air is so bad around the city, but they have like those machines that take the air from outside and filter them using like runic magic, and then all the air within the ministry is so pure and so nice.
It's like
That part.
going up in the mountain, getting
Right.
into the minister.
So yeah, like how what does
These are
that
the
look like?
people
What
who let their dogs run free in a bar, man. They got good air.
I was going to say something about this pet-friendly bar. It's so weird.
The ones who
Hey,
let them
different
off
worlds,
leash are
different rules.
always the ones who didn't know how to train them right. Those are the dogs that are the most suspect. Like strange dogs off leash in an enclosed space together. That's just not a good look. As much as I love
Privilege.
dogs.
So
Thing.
yeah, I go ahead and I jam up the runic magic around the air conditioning.
Okay. I'd say that the
Just
risk
fun.
here is that just for fun. I'd say the risk here is like there's always a danger around playing with runes. They can go haywire. There's like you've heard this story from a couple of weeks ago, like that there was like a big runic explosion in one of the districts that blew up an entire building. Like there were some markers who didn't know what they were playing with. They tried to apply some runes that they
The
didn't
important
properly
thing
understand.
is, do they combust? Like,
Oh.
do they turn on fire?
They can.
Yeah, I think they can.
Just saying.
Just saying.
There's no one here. I mean, they shouldn't be here.
No, well, like,
So
I think there's still some
Sorry, go ahead.
personnel inside, like
Yeah,
to
no,
like
no.
inside the building, but things are definitely calmer. Maybe it's like 6 p.m. at that point, and we're gonna come back to you, Kara and Rat, in a minute. But yeah, like you're currently like in the building. Sorry, outside the building. So I guess you're trying to spot like where this runic filtering system is, and try to make it go haywire. Like,
Yeah.
tinker with it. Okay, do it. Do your thing.
Boots, can you help by covering my back?
Totally.
Excellent.
Yeah,
All right. So
anyone
I just
that
to
comes
reduce our risk of being caught.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so how many dice
So
are you
I
rolling
have-
for this?
I have Tinker. I have my base die. And does knowledge and runes help?
It's one or the other. It's either like the skill or the knowledge. So
Okay. So I use the knowledge, and
perfect,
I bust it.
perfect. So
And my high die is a 5.
it's a 5. Oh, that was a close one. I got a 4 for the risk.
Oh.
So you beat me. So you get 1 hope. So you can add that inside your character keeper, which you're going to be able to burn later. Burn that hope to get additional dice. But
Gotcha.
yes, that's a success. And Boots, you see a couple of people passing by, and you're like able to like get rid of them at some point. Like the street, the alley is clear. And Glow, you can do what you want with this like air filtering runic unit. So what do you do? What
Fire.
does this look like?
Sorry. I just had to reintroduce it just for a moment. Fire.
Oh no,
Well-
not at all. I
know.
take
I'm
it.
just messing.
I take it. This is like a ministry rune. Like this is the good stuff.
We can have your air in our truck.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's good. Oh, but
You're
like
finally
how's
gonna
Rat
make
gonna
it
take
not
that?
smell like rat. It's not gonna smell like all the chemical concoctions in the corner.
Rat, Mister, I wake people up before they're ready to get up. What's he care? Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
Moving right along.
Can you smell what the rat is cooking? That's what I have to ask.
Always.
Always. I think the entire scrapyard can
From
smell
far
it.
away. From far away. So,
Okay. So what does
does
what
that
does this
give
look
us
like?
any? Oh, so you said this game is like Arcane, so I imagine everything is like these magic rocks that are connected to almost filament wire or soldering
Right.
wire, and you know, just ripping it out could cause an explosion or worse. But I am able to. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, just want to say I think if it was like a nobody trying to do it, probably could cause an explosion. But you know what you're doing. You're a
Yeah,
gearhead.
exactly.
Like
Exactly. So yeah, I melt the wires, the positive at right spots, and get rid of the ground, and yeah, I pocket that stone, and then
Nice.
I feel like you get the airflow from the sewer going through what used to be the clean air runic route. Just really flood it out.
oh, that would evacuate a building fast.
Yeah,
okay,
for the fire.
Channel your inner rat. Come on, join me.
and yet, but yeah, so ultimately the goal is to kind of foul up the air inside to get people to leave.
Yeah, and also to have something to fix as an excuse to enter.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
So that's that. We have that, and we try to enter. I think that there are many routes to enter, but there are some that are like secret doors or something like that. Can that happen?
Well,
the only thing I'm concerned about is like if everybody leaves, then I guess Rose would leave as well. No,
Find the
like
paperwork.
you could
I
find the
would
paperwork
assume-
yourself.
Yeah, I was going to say that maybe we don't need her to be there. I mean, we can enter the office.
Yeah, you like it's
We
improvisation
would
right
have an
there. It's like the
excuse
plan
to be
changed.
there, though, but I don't think that it's that complicated.
No, I think at that point, like if you flow the entire building with like sewage air, at that point, like I'm not gonna make you roll for anything. I think the building is pretty much like most people have evacuated, and now they're waiting for people to come in. And though I will say that like
Here you have our Chanel number 5, and
This is
where I think
tube 5. It's tube number 5.
I think that one thing
Close.
that I'm going to do though is I'm going to drop a track. So tracks in Hopes and Dreams work a bit like clocks in numerous like games like Blades in the Dark and whatnot. It's just like to tick them. I either use the cost of a roll or the impact. So in that case, like I'm gonna drop like a danger clock and like a danger track. And if you make checks or you take too much time, I'm gonna tick it based on the risk of the roll, right? So if I roll 2 dice, I'm gonna take those boxes fast. So I've dropped 3 boxes track, so it's a pretty short track. Like it's a ministry building, it's heavily watched, and also like automates don't care about smell, so they can enter the building at any time. But right now they're waiting for support. They're waiting for like the maintenance people to come in, and they're a couple of blocks away. Maybe they're busy with something else, but right now they aren't there, and you've got an open window.
Okay, so we are going to enter through the most secure emergency exit that is being used for people to come out. So we'll just blend in and go in. I also know, because I know this, it's the place that it's near to the office of the minister, because to evacuate he needs to be in the safest and fastest route for doing it,
Right.
So we'll do that. Do I have to roll
To do what exactly?
to enter and get to the office?
Not to get to, well, I guess like if I make you roll, I make you roll to do it fast. Like if you want to
Okay.
like to go in there, like like because time is against you right now.
Yeah.
There are people that are going to come in. So like I guess I'd require you to roll to actually get that information and try to do it fast. So do you have any
Okay.
skills or knowledge that help you out in that role?
I know the ministry is my knowledge.
That helps.
That's my knowledge, and that's that.
Perfect.
Because then my ability. Sorry, I mix up all the time
Oh, good.
the names. But my ability is to know the ways of the places that I know. I mean, like I know this place.
Okay, perfect. So
So
let's make a roll. So you roll 2 6-sided die, take the highest result, and that's going to tell us how fast you can like get in there, find the information. Though I will say that I think this is a bit desperate because time is against you. So I'm going to roll 2 die on my end.
okay, I
So
roll a 4.
you have a 4. I rolled a 5.
Oh God.
So right now, like you scramble inside the building, and what I will say is I will tick 2 boxes on the track because of the cost of the roll, which were 2 die. So
Now,
you go
do I
inside.
give her extra effect looking like a repair person?
Wait, sorry, can you repeat that?
Do I give her extra effect looking like a repair person?
Like you could, but since she didn't like succeed the roll, then the effect is not applied, right? Like it
Got
doesn't
it.
change the
Okay.
odds, but yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But now, like I think you need to try something else. Like you're able to get in there, and I think the door is locked. Let's say that, like you scramble, and then like eventually you arrive at the door of the minister, but the door is still locked. It was locked before, and yeah, go ahead, Mo.
So I'm going to tinker with it.
Tinker with it. But you were
Alright.
able to get there because of like boot skills, but now like you're faced with like.
Just to be clear, what is going to happen when the clock finishes, completes its field?
People are gonna start entering the building.
Okay, well.
Okay.
We'll
So,
see that when we see that.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
going to tinker with the door. So I have a base die and a tinker skill.
Are you burning your hope
Can
as
I
well?
can I help him somehow? Like, for example, I know something about how these doors work because they are special and they are from the ministry and that stuff. I'm not sure if that is possible.
Yeah, you can help it out and like give him like a boost in impact and like yeah.
Okay.
So rolling 2d6.
Are you burning your hope or just
And
like
I am not burning my hope. My high die is a 5.
it's a 5? Okay. My high die is also a 5, so that means we've got success but at a cost. So I will say that I'm gonna tick the final box on the track and people are gonna start entering the ministry, but you've got access to the office. And
Got it.
as you enter it, you actually see that there's somebody standing like who's like inside the room, but they don't look like they're from the ministry. They look extremely shady. They've got like a big scar like on the side of their head. They're currently smoking, and they look at
In the
you.
sewer air. That's hardcore.
Yeah, definitely.
You
They
lit up
just
in the
don't like
methane.
good
You're
air.
brave.
Oh yeah. And you kind of like recognize that face. You know it's like this is one of the like big bosses from like the syndicate families, and like you don't know what they're doing there, but they look at you, they raise a gun to both of you, and they're like, I think we've come to the end of your little journey, little rebels, and we're gonna cut the story here because we're a bit out of time. But yeah, I just had to leave on the cliffhanger to try to motivate everyone so that we finish this story some point in the future. But
Always beautiful.
Oh man,
Always
and we have
beautiful.
no idea that this is going on with Boots and Glow.
no, not at all. Sorry, didn't have the time to come back to
No,
the two
no,
of
no,
you.
no,
No, no,
you
no,
will.
this is perfect. We're hiding in the basement and we're listening to all the people above us and terrified that we're going to be caught, but also thinking, what can we get? And they're standing in the room with the stranger having flooded the ministry with sewage gas and stolen the
Yeah.
rune,
That's
hoping
great.
that they can get the info on where we're going. Yeah. We're
I
about
just
to make a
wanted
mess
to
of
set
everything.
something on fire, you know?
I know.
Well,
I
you've
think
got a ministry
the
building full
motto
of
of the
sewage
night.
gas. You're gonna make it. You're gonna make it happen. I have
Yeah.
faith. You can mess this up
Oh,
and
yeah.
blow things up. It's totally possible.
I think the reason why like the sewage air didn't like burst everything with the cigarette is because it's like an e-cigarette, like the it's a vape, but like it's made with a rune. It's a rune vape. That's like
Oh wow, a
God.
rune vape. That's a whole mood.
The
Whole thing.
rune vape does not set off a methane.
no,
Sounds.
no.
Have you seen those list of things that are useless that people with a lot of money buy?
Yeah,
that
yeah,
are
there you
like
go.
grape peelers, like
Sure.
things like that.
Grape
You
peelers,
could
yeah.
smoke, or
and
you could
it
smoke
sounds like
magic.
one of those items.
Exact same thing.
You can smoke magic.
That's it.
So
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, does
There
anybody
are
need a
other
bigger
ways.
selling point than that?
I like the idea that there's like gonna be arcane cancer. Like it's way worse than
Right.
like you thought it was bad when you were smoking carcinogens. Now,
No.
Roll wild magic.
every time you pull out your
Every
vape.
time. Yeah.
Ooh,
There's always a risk with magic. Always.
Yep. Always.
All right, so this brings us to the end of this wonderful session. Thank you all so much
Thank
for
you for
having
running
come on
this.
this great like
Dude,
Yeah.
so
Sunday
much
session.
fun.
Yeah, it's amazing. I really enjoy it. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, dude,
I
just
love
thanks.
this character sheet, by the way. I've written notes on it, but I love this character sheet. This is awesome.
I need the physical
Yeah,
copy because I was finding myself being like, ooh, I want to see dice. I was like, yeah, give me the
Right?
risk check. I want to see it.
Yeah.
I get nerdy about
Okay.
dice though. I love having like the dice hit the table and everybody does the, you know.
Yeah,
Oh,
same. I
yeah.
mean, I don't know why I have 7 dice because I only need a max of 3, but
You don't.
Hey,
never
whatever.
know.
I have a couple of
I have
them.
my little like different colored pips on every side poker
Oh.
dice. The green and blue sides are my favorites.
I have those custom dice. They're they're
Oh,
charge
look at
dice.
you. Look at you.
fancy.
Fancy.
They're still on for sale, but they'll be coming at some point. Okay, let's close everything up to be respectful of everyone's time who have dedicated already so much of their wonderful time. Thank you so much for having joined me today. This was just amazing. So hey, I was about to call you Glow. Mo, how about you drop some? How about you tell us about the wonderful stuff you're making, and we drop some links.
In the role of Glow, I'm Mo B. You can find my work at ashyfeet.com. Me and that guy, Michael the Rat Lowe, we co-designed a game called Hold Fast Station. And I have a game, Shibuya Nights, and I have a new game that is Fortune Dark based called Alien Omen on it
Ooh.
that you can download and play now.
Check it out.
Amazing.
It's dope.
Yeah.
Michael,
I think this
how
is the
about
first
you?
I've actually
Oh,
heard of
sorry.
it, so that's awesome.
Yeah, me too.
You should also check out his Mystery Machine game, which I think is the most brilliant belonging outside belonging like Scooby-Doo game I've ever seen.
You know I'm a big fan of Bob
We should play
games.
that too.
Oh yeah.
That one's really cool. I feel like Mo nailed the feel. Like even just reading the game, you're like, I'm playing it already. Like you can see it happening. You're like, yeah,
Awesome.
I know exactly
First
what
off,
I do.
I don't know, Mo. I don't know why I'm not following you. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a
You
failure
need
of
to
character,
fix that.
Andy.
Come
It
on,
is.
follow me.
It's true. Come on, follow me.
Always, always.
Reading Rainbow. Oh no, sorry, that's something else.
I'm going to pass it to Amanda. Amanda, what are you doing?
Oh, well, as I've told before, I focus mainly on solo games. At the moment, I'm working in an adaptation for Card from Brindlewood to play solo. I'm working on a game for the Between to play solo, and also in an Apocalypse Keys that it's also a card from Brindlewood solo
That's a
version.
big deal.
Oh
Yeah, I'm super happy. I just talked with Jason Cordova last week, and he gave me the permission to use the Between as a setting for the game. So I'm really thrilled, and
Wow.
Congrats.
I'm really working a lot to do it, because it has a lot of layout and material, and it's really hard. So
Your layout
I'm
game is
working.
top notch, by the way.
Oh, it's
Like,
so good.
Thanks.
from the scrapbooking game to this, what you've posted of this one is just amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks. And
Yeah.
well, Andy, just because he talks so good about me.
Yeah, I'm Andy. Pandian Games, pandiangames.com, .itch.io. We make usually games that don't feature combat or violence directly. Like Storyteller might be a big one where like a lot of violence is probably going to happen, but you don't have a lot of powers to avoid that directly. But it's a horror game. But yeah, Bandus Grove, Badger and Coyote. We've got all sorts of. We've got games, a little bit of everything for everybody. So yeah, definitely come check us out. And yeah, pandiangames.com. Michael, have you spoken already?
I have not this time through, but I talk too much, so that's no loss. Yeah, Banda's Grove. I want to just give a shout out for one of those genius, like, that's a whole mood. It's such a deeply like cozy, warming, community focused game. Mo mentioned Holdfast earlier. We're also motivated. Mo and I, when we built that, we were really focused on nonviolence, and I tend to focus on nonviolence given that I teach with games. So Holdfast is actually up on itch in a beta version, but a more beautiful published physical copy will be available soon from Lampblack and Brimstone, with awesome layout done by Jason Lutz, who's like an absolute layout and art god. He's unbelievable. He's really frighteningly good. It's one of those things where, you know, he kind of looked at our stuff and said he would work with it, and I was like, really? I don't know if I'm worthy. Like, I don't know if we can we? Okay. But yeah, you can find all of my games, which include Stories RPG, which is a collaboration with Daniel Hines of Stories Podcast, and the Starsworn Kickstarter, which is a completely play-to-learn game. It's a choose-your-own-adventure coloring book role-playing game. Anyone can play it, and it can be in your house before December. And if you fund it now, if we break our next goal, there's going to be an extra chapter of the story involved. So another 30 pages of immersive gameplay. Yeah, there's a lot there. Yeah, you feel free to check out my itch. I've got some stuff up there, including Zero Samurai, which is a riff on Seven Samurai, but it's based on Kurosawa's script writing approach, and the words of his last living scriptwriter, who I actually got a chance to meet and who I got a copy of his biography from. And so much of what Kurosawa's team did was based on, it felt like role playing. So that's another nerdy thing if you want to jump in. And then Renee, like, what is there to say about Charge and Dash and Hopes and Dreams?
Breathless.
And, I don't know. I'm breathless watching how fast you move. Like, how do you produce so much so quick?
I need to know how many Breathless games there are.
In Japanese, only in Japanese.
Yeah.
Start with the Japanese games only.
And Korean.
Korean,
and French.
So Breathless was translated in Korean, both the SRD and the game. There are at least 70. I think it was 87 Japanese Breathless games, plus the 80 English ones. So it's more than like 150 Breathless games out there available on both Talco and Itch. So it's just like completely incredible. I still can't believe it, to be quite frank. The game we played today is called Hopes and Dreams. It is available in Ashcan version. If you buy it now, you will get the fully premium like PDF once is out. Like my laptop actually burned. I've got like a temporary laptop right now, so as soon as I get my new laptop, I want to finish that game and publish it out, and eventually try to like get it in a physical world. But yeah, you can get it now at a discounted price. It's I think it's a wonderful game. So thank you for having joined me on this. And in terms of other projects, I've got the Dash Jam going on. So Dash is a condensed version of the charge system, and we've got a Dash Jam which lasts at least until the end of the month. There's already like more than 25-ish games that have been published using this little condensed format. But yeah, it's super fun. And last thing, actually a bit of a pun intended there. Started working on a Breathless project with one of the person that's currently sitting in with us. So Andy and I and Bruno from Opal Breeze Games and Galen Peugeot. I don't know how to pronounce that name, but he's a fantastic illustrator. So we're all working together on a project called Our Last Stand, which is a Breathless game about tactical mech combat RPG that's going to be coming very soon. So we're working hard on that. So stay tuned for more. But yeah, but like that's just a couple of things I do. Check out all those wonderful people links like that we've dropped in the chat. They're just so I feel so lucky that you've taken the time to play with me and to play this little game. So thank you so much. I just cannot say thank you enough. I think I'm running out of words.
Well, I think
it's been a lot of
the key-
fun.
Yeah,
It's
for
been
real.
really fun.
And I think the key is we're all like, this is
Good
really
times.
cool because everybody here builds, and that means it's great for learning from each other. And I really hope we get a chance to hang out and play each other's games a little bit more and share a lot of like, because I don't know, I learned a lot. Like it was really exciting to play Hopes and Dreams and be like, oh, that's the agreements from Holdfast, and you were like, that's the agreements, and I was like, I see you.
Yeah, I see you. Yep.
Yeah, definitely, and I'd be so down to actually play all of your games and use like your platforms or this platform or whatever. Like, I just want to play games with you. So if you let's schedule something for the very near future.
Let's go.
Sounds
Yay.
good. Yeah, one day I will run Bandas Grove for y'all.
Oh
Ooh,
yes,
I want to play
please.
Bandas. I do.
Yay.
I am
really
down
do.
for whatever.
We can
All
play
right.
one of my games. Each of us play on their own. You know, we are just in
We take
camera
turns
3
being
hours
the driver.
in silence.
Perfect. We can do that. We all post our own APs of one of Armando's games.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
Much
Totally
love,
doable.
y'all. Thank you so much for
All
this.
right.
This has
Thank
been really
you.
fun.
Thanks. It's been amazing. I hope
Yeah.
we can
Good times.
finish this story, someday.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
that'd be great.
Bye,
All right.
everybody.
Bye
Bye. Thanks.
See ya.